Who's late? What are you talking about late? How dare you? Welcome everybody. Monday night, isn't it? Monday the 9th. I keep forgetting what month we're in. How's it going? Look at you all. Look at you all already. Tracy, Craig, Chris, Anthony, Morgan, now then. Darren. Sue. Sue's weekend doing stuff. Welcome from Texas. Great. Oh my god. Lindsay, welcome. Is everyone quiet? Have we all gone dead? Sorry, let me turn my phone on silent. That's not a good start, is it? Let's start this properly, actually. Let's change chairs. Bring in the sturdy one. Oh, God. Shane, welcome. Interesting second name. That's worse than mine. Crystal Clean, welcome. Tracy, Jamie, evening. Oh, Power Wash, Matthew, what's up, what's up? I had a bit of a funny one today. We were cleaning this stretch tent, and I made sure I sort of messaged ahead of time because it had been a while since I got in touch with them. I said, look, we're due over in about a week or two. Can you just make sure sort of, you know, all the furniture's moved and stuff? Arrived. None of the furniture's moved. And then what they also said was, oh, by the way, there's a funeral at 12:30. I was like, this was the job. It's just loading, hang on. Watching on the phone whilst trying to find out why my van has a fuel and oil leak. Oh no. You're about to lose the light, ain't you? What time does it get dark these days? Good luck. Watching old footage from 2 years ago in California. No way. Look at everyone. Welcome. Pressure Tech, welcome. There isn't many of us. I know, same. Hoax, welcome. Free van, free jet wash, free insurance for everyone that are right. Okay, all right. People do seem to forget. I mean, someone popped into the Discord the other day talking about day rates, and they were saying about 150 quid for a day rate. And that's someone else had to explain, like, that's okay when you're employed, when you've got no outgoings or sort of liabilities. This picture ain't loading. But when you're working for yourself and you've got to pay your insurance, you got to deduct 20% of that for tax. You got to pay for your own fuel, your liability, your what else? Your marketing, your advertising, all that stuff. You can't see from this, but look, this is what we did today. You're not going to be able to see, are you? Why isn't it loading? Syncing from your device. Might be quicker just to send it to myself. But there's all these like chairs, tables and chairs underneath with cushions on them. So I'm thinking I don't want to get hypo on them. So I asked ahead of time if they could have them moved. And then they said, so they weren't moved when we got there. So we're like, great. And then I actually thought, oh, to be fair, it's designed to keep the rain off, and so they're probably best off staying underneath. That's probably where they're most protected. And they said, oh, by the way, we've got a funeral. We've booked a funeral for 12:30, like a party, like a, what do they call it? It's not a party. You don't celebrate, do you, at a funeral? What's it called? When someone dies and then you go and have a party. Anyone know what I'm talking about? Awake, thank you. So they were having a wake at 12:30, and I was like, I don't know how long it's going to take for us to do this. I've never done this before. So I said, are you joking? You booked, there's going to be like multiple guests here at 12:30, and I've got to be done, everything rinsed off, tidied up, cherry picker out the way, all the hoses tidied away, van moved for 12:30. He's like, yeah, sorry. The girl that booked it's on holiday. I was like, oh, okay, great. And then these two guys started sort of rearranging all the furniture and stuff. And I said, like, do you guys know I'm cleaning this today? Like, yeah, it would only be 15 minutes. I was like, yeah, but I'm about to spray some chemicals like everywhere. It was just, you know, one of them jobs when you just start getting angry before you've even started. I had a wake at 12:30. Did you actually? I didn't wake up till 12:30 on Saturday. Oh my god, I was so ill on Saturday. I was violently ill on Saturday. I think I'd been eating too much greasy food, maybe. It's all these lunches me and Jake are having sort of catching up on me, I think. But we've been eating well. And oh my god, I've never lost that much fluid in a day before. I couldn't believe it. But like the next day, I felt better on Sunday, and now I feel great today. I'm back. I'm fully. Luckily it happened on my day off, because if it had happened while we were working, I'd have had to reschedule the whole day. Evening Keystone, welcome, Conrad. It's a party if you didn't like them. True. Looking forward to tonight's show. Stephen, welcome. Loving the t-shirt. Uncleanables podcast. Get your merch. If you're employed, your employer charges each employee £50 to £100 per hour. Charges each employee at. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, if you're deploying labour. Yeah, I get that. Does anyone work on a day rate for pressure washing? Work on a job by job basis myself. Quote each job. A lot of people do listen. I'm reading the message above. A lot of people do charge a day rate. They do. And I think they're leaving so much potential money on the table. I don't like day rates at all. I remember Squeaky Clean Dave. I won't talk about figures, but Squeaky Clean Dave asked me to come and help him on a job. And he said, what's your day rate? And I went, 230 quid? I don't know. He went, what? To come with your equipment and your own fuel to work with me for the day? I went, I don't know. And he went, you need to be charging more than that, mate. I was like, okay. And so he gave me a figure and paid me what he thought was appropriate. And I was like, oh, bloody hell, okay. I guess I should be charging more. I understand what you mean. It's like, you know, travelling, you know, half an hour, whatever, with your van full of equipment, with all your fuel and stuff. But I suppose it was only a one-off. So if I was like regularly doing contract work like that, it would probably be like a lot higher. But as a one-off for a mate sort of thing, it's like, I don't know. I didn't want to go in high, you know what I mean? Listening to this on a job right now, just doing the sand. Chris, what are you doing at 7:30 at night? 20 to 8 sanding, mate. Have you got a family at home? That's commitment, that is. Did you find that comment, Jake? It vanished. Cedars. No, I didn't see it, mate. No, sorry. Apparently someone commented on Cedars' video saying that he's stealing my work or something. I can't remember what did they say? Looks like one of Jake's jobs or something. Can't remember. Millhouse, welcome. He's had to put the turbo in the toilet. No comment. I'm not going into any more detail about that because that is gross. But you're right. To be fair, Jakey was an absolute champion. This job, I hate that these images aren't loading. This is the worst phone link app ever. Matt, my phone link doesn't let me use my Pixel to mirror my screen, and all the other ones that I've seen, you have to like pay monthly for it. And it's like taking ages to sync my photos and stuff. This massive drive that we cleaned the other day, we're going to be doing Blackmagic on this one. And we were getting about 11 litres per minute from the tap. And we had to stop within literally 15 minutes of starting the job. And I was feeling so rough. I was feeling terrible. And Jakey went, just pack your equipment up and I'll have all the water and I'll do the job. Give me a couple of hours and I'll do it. I was like, that does sort of make sense. And he went, go and lie down in the van. Have a sleep. And by the time you wake up, I'll have this done. I was like, yes. And he absolutely smashed it. Even with 11 litres per minute, he got it done within less than 2 hours, I think. And then I jumped out at the end to help him sort of sweep up and rinse the road and stuff. Real shame these pictures aren't loading. Damn it. This one is going to be quite an interesting one because I bought myself a toy. Also, just before I move on, I'm going to send these to the chat. I'm just going to send them to Discord because it's so much easier. I saw one of them. You know, we were talking about those chain drain pipes the other day. I saw one for the first time ever. And I would have never even looked at it twice if we hadn't have watched that video like it was literally last week, wasn't it? Do. Right, they should be in the Discord now. Get rid of that stupid app. Rubbish. Rubbish. Look at this. It's a drain. It's a chain drain. And there's my little girlie. And it was funny because it was like that drain at the bottom was about 3 inches to the left in the wrong place. It was like, well, it was well off. So the water was going down into the stones instead of the drain. But I thought that was interesting. This is the big drive we're doing the Blackmagic on. It's about 240 square meters, I think. And because it's like 2 different colors, the guy wants it all the same. We did a pre-treatment on this one because it weren't terribly bad. And there was lots of very dark black spots along the curb. So we thought we'll pre-treat it. That'll save us all that water rinsing down. Because I thought about this recently. And if you consider that if it's not terribly dirty, the idea of post-treating, in my opinion, is you clean the surface first to get rid of the surface layer of algae, so that when you post-treat with hypo, it's the most effective it can be. That most of the algae is already gone, it's going to go straight to the black spots, which is great. But if you've got a big area and you're struggling for water pressure and you want to preserve water, if you can pre-treat, because it's not terribly dirty and there's not necessarily a massive layer of algae on top that's going to stop the hypo from doing its job. If you can pre-treat, and then clean and then rinse, it's saving you a rinse. Because you clean, rinse, hypo, rinse. Whereas you could hypo, clean, rinse, and it saves you a whole step. You know what I mean? Does anyone follow? And that could be a lot of water that you're saving there by missing that step out. But it depends how dirty the surface is already. Do you know what I mean? Use the Mrs. Toothbrush. Dino, welcome. Oi oi Chelt, welcome. Sorry if I've missed anyone's messages. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. Oh, they said you shared my content, making out that it was yours. Nah, I didn't see that. Pro foam arrives tomorrow, can't wait. What made you go for the Pro foam over the ProJet? I'm bold and have a homeless man beard. They must have had their eyes closed when they were watching it. I don't know if you know, but you're logged into Google Photos on your desktop browser. It should sync all your photos. If you're logged into Google Photos. Ooh. I've made a new contact form today. Oh, that is it. It would. I can see how that would work if I had enough storage on my account. It's constantly telling me I need to upgrade because I've got no storage left on my account because I'm maxed out. Because I take so many bloody pictures, don't I? I've bought an airless sprayer for this job because we're going to be block magic in it, and I thought there's got to be a better way than rolling it. I mean, we might roll it on absolutely fine, but I bought an airless sprayer to play with because people told me in the last video I should try one, so I bought one. So I'm going to make a video on it. That's pretty cool, isn't it? Evening, Mark. You're right, mate. If I have some leftover sodium hypochlorite in unopened 5-litre barrels, will it last over Christmas into next year? That's a good question. It'll definitely last. Whether it will degrade or not, I don't know. That's a very good question. I think we covered this when I had Mike on the podcast. Can anyone else help Lindsay there? Unopened 5-litre hypo. Will it last until after Christmas? I suppose it depends what temperature it's stored at. It'll definitely degrade, but I think it'll still be usable next year, I would have thought. Jack, Gleamguard, welcome. Do you have any tips on camera positioning when filming yourself washing? That's a good question. So with this one, I'll give you a little sticky beak at the time lapse. What I've done with my camera that I've got here that you're on, put a PU filter on it because I've found I get so much glare. I tend to like to go up as high as possible and like over the shoulder. Let me see if I can show you. So I've put a PU filter on because when there's water on the surface, these little time-lapse action cameras can tend to introduce a lot of reflection and refraction from the water. And so it makes the image look really bright and nasty. And with this, you don't see any of it because I've twisted and turned the PU filter so that it, what's it called? It's like a polarizing filter, I think. And so it gets rid of any of that brightness. I'd like to give you an example of what it looks like without, but so can you see those reflections down there? Essentially, if I didn't have that filter on, all of that would be like almost invisible because of the reflections of the sun. I know it's hard to believe when it's such a clear image, but when without that filter, there's so much glare on the screen. I know this isn't necessarily the question that you asked, but it might have something to do with your choice of camera angles. I like to sort of go up over the shoulder. I've got a new tripod that allows me to go a little bit higher, and it's a little bit more stable. And close enough as well. People, when they're filming time lapses and stuff, they tend to go quite far back, and it's hard to. People don't want to see you moving around. They want to see the transformation on the surface. So the best thing you can do is get up high and point the camera down towards the surface. The subject isn't you, the subject is the transformation happening. And I think people forget that when they're doing time lapses sometimes. Hope that helps, I don't know. Craig. One of my customers had a chain drain, but it's surrounded by Indian sandstone. Horrible black spots. Oh, really? I guess it's just not sending the moisture in the right direction, is it sometimes? Would you envisage that rental places have different nozzles, namely a turbo, or am I going to have to buy one? If you go to a pressure washer supplier that also rents out machines, they'll do a turbo nozzle. If you go to somewhere like Brandon Hire or Speedy Hire or something, they do like general purpose pressure washers with Bowsers normally on them, and they're generally designed for like washing down sites after building works, and so they just tend to come with one nozzle, and it's like a fan. It's like a fan nozzle, and you can't change them. So I'd avoid those ones if you're going to hire a machine. What I've done in the past is I've hired one from Pressure Washer Sales and Service in Evesham, and they essentially hire out the same stuff that they sell. So if you look at this business pack here, you can hire this entire setup. You can even go in and hire a buffer tank if you want to, I think. So that's pretty cool. There should be 82 likes by now. Come on, fellas. Always love a cheeky pre-treat on concrete. Yeah, most concrete, I'd say. Especially like concrete slab, like poured concrete. We tend to pre and post treat for best results. It just means you have to go in, you don't have to go in as harsh with like a turbo nozzle, for example. The one thing I have found with pre-treating, and it's the same issue I have with running the surface cleaner over like block paving, for example. If I pre-treat block paving and it's not terribly weedy or mossy in the first place, I find that I can't see where I need to clean as well. So we end up missing little bits of moss or weeds. Because when you've got like a really dirty surface and you get the turbo on it and you start going, it's really clear to see where you've done and where you haven't done, and then you just post treat and everything's sterilised and clean and it's nice. Sanitised, sterilised, I don't know why I use that word, but I like it. And then if you were to pre-treat, you've almost done a lot of the cleaning in the first place, and then you're just left with the moss and the weeds between the joints. So sometimes, if all the algae and the surface grime's gone off the face of the blocks, you might miss that bit when you going over it with the turbo nozzle. And it's the same thing with the surface cleaner. If you go over the whole thing with the surface cleaner first and it misses loads of weeds and stuff, you've got to go back over it with the turbo nozzle. You might miss stuff because everything looks clean and you're just trying to get the bits that you've missed. You know what I mean? Don't like it. Google Workspace is £6 a month, unlimited photo storage. It's another subscription though, isn't it? Cedars video made me go for the GoPro, for the Pro Foam. Yeah, I did see he put that on Facebook, didn't he? Our mate Cedars. He's done a comparison. Do you mind if I play this? I don't want to take away from your audience, but I saw you did a comparison with the ProJet and the Pro Foam, was it? Welcome, Darren. You're right, matey. Clean out your cookies. What do you mean? If you keep it in your house, it'll last longer. Oh, the hypo, really? Managed to about 250 to 300 square meters of that huge job I was talking about the other day. Ordered loads of hypo as well. Just wondered your best estimate to how much I'd use. Got a 1:5 ratio with an XJet. ChatGPT says just under 80 litres. 250 square meters. How much would you use there? I reckon on about 1 to 5, on about a 50 metre squared driveway, we're probably using about 5 litres of hypo. So that's 1 litre for every 10 square metres. Is that right? Or is that way off? I might be wrong. I'm not measuring it, to be honest, mate. We don't measure it. We just take our 25 litre barrels, and whenever I run out, I'm run out, and I'll change it. Hey, girly. Oh, you're bringing me my coffee. Thank you so much.
Too hot, bro.
Wonderful, thank you.
Careful, my girl.
That's lovely. In my gutter vacuum systems mug. Thank you. You okay? Have you still got strawberry on your face? You are very grotty.
I'm busy.
Say goodnight first.
I love you.
Good night.
In the morning.
Good morning.
Bye-bye. Thanks for my coffee.
Okay.
That's okay. Oh. Good time for the gutter vacuum systems discount code to show up in the bottom corner. Look. Way. Way. Matt's the best person to ask that question. I think he had a chemical dilution ratio calculator. He actually did. Thanks, Jake. I have the DJI action cam. That's what I'm after, is the transformation shots. Every day is a school day. I don't know if it helped, mate. I just that's my. I like to get my camera up on the van, but then sometimes it's too wide, so you have to change the settings to sort of punch it in. Have you ever faded anything while pre-treatment or post-treatment? Faded, like etched like chemically etched the surface. That's a good question. In the early days, I splashed some hypo up like fences and sleepers and stuff. I remember doing that 2 or 3 times, and like shed doors and things. And I thought I need to figure out a way of not doing this. And this was before like I did much research, and now I know that I thought like if it's going to happen, isn't it? There's no way to avoid it. And then I realized you could like pre-wet, soak it, stop halfway through, rinse everything down, and like keep the surface wet. When it comes to like surfaces you shouldn't use hypo on, I remember using hypo on a slate patio and it didn't do anything. And this came up in the Discord today, actually. Does anyone know what happens when you put hypo on slate, and why you shouldn't use hypo on slate? Because I'm not 100% sure why. I was just always told not to. It's one of them surfaces you shouldn't. My thoughts were that slate can contain iron deposits, like in the composition, and it can do that classic thing where the salts and the sodium hypochlorite can expose the iron by drawing the rust to the surface, and then you end up with loads of little rust patches all over your slate. I don't know if that's true or whether I'm just making that up in my head. I didn't get any sort of fading on it. If anyone knows anything about that. Slate will go rusty like granite. Oh, there you go. But a higher chance. Higher than granite. Have I ever faded anything? I don't think I have. No. I'm going to be using hypo on a roof soon for the first time. So that's going to be interesting. I did a biocide treatment and I think it rained later that day. And it hasn't worked, basically. And it's not a big deal. I said to the customer, like, just give me a call back in 6 months' time if you don't notice like a dramatic colour difference. And she didn't call me back. I happened to be visiting in the area the other day, and I just popped over and had a look. And I give her a text and I said, I've noticed your roof. We've scraped all the moss off and all the moss has died, but your roof doesn't really look that much different to when we treated it. So I'd like to come back and do a free top-up treatment. And I'm going to try hypo this time, because they're like the little clay tiles. Little digestive biscuit, pre-dipped digestive biscuit tiles. Did the worst job today. Driveway sloped towards the house, 0 drains. I ended up digging a trench under the hedge to next door's drain. Jeez, that's high effort, that is. That's the way to do it, though. I mean, that is this job sort of encompassed, I think. You face challenges like that all the time that no one else knows about, because it's just something you've got to deal with on the day, and the customer didn't think to tell you. It's not really their fault. And these things happen where it's like, God, this is the worst day ever, or this is like, how am I going to sort this out? And it's that problem solving mentality that will set you apart from someone who just sort of leaves it. That's so cool. I mean, it's cool. I hope you took pictures and stuff, and that would have made a good little story for your socials. Digging a trench under the hedge to go into next door's drain. That's quite a cool solution, actually. Well done. Where's this video, Cedars? I'm on your Facebook page, but I can't see it. I got it. Here he is. Apparently he looks like me. I don't see it myself. XJet. Is that the original video? Why is it so small? Why is it so small? That's what she said. Here it is. Pro foam.
The Pro Foam versus the XJet.
There you go.
We're going to do half Pro Foam, half XJet. Are you going to see the difference? Does it create less runoff? Obviously on a drive like this where you've got obviously your dips where the tyres and stuff been, I do find with the ProJet sometimes that the water part of it just runs away, leaving you a streak of sort of block paving that's not been treated as well. And it's the first time ever using the ProJet.
I never considered that. Is that the reason? Is that the thing? That it foams up more and so it stays where you want it instead of sort of dissipating into the lowest points? Oh.
Let's give it a go. Let's put some PP on and see what happens.
You're an absolute...
So, like I said...
By the way, you're an absolute natural at these videos. You do such a good job. Great communicator. Easy to follow along and listen to. Good angles, good footage.
First job. Didn't see a massive difference between itself and the ProJet. It was a bit quicker. Definitely thicker, denser foam.
Yeah, that is thicker foam, isn't it?
Until the second job of the day, with a much larger drive, that I noticed that the Pro Foam is just a lot quicker.
Really?
By the time I'd put it back in the van, I was like, huh? And it made me realise that it was probably 3 times as quick on the application. And I did find that I did use less chemical. So I'm not sure if that's the foaming agents when the gun goes down, that you're just not back and forth applying more and more. But yeah, great product. Definitely going to use it. I think on larger areas, applying biocide on large tarmac drives or huge block drives, applying your SH. I definitely think it's the one to go for. I think if you're just starting out and you're doing smaller drives and obviously you're rinsing down and obviously using the same piece of equipment, then the ProJet's, I think, more for you. But big areas on that second drive today, I think the Pro Foam just come into its own. You know, quick application, nice wide application, less passes, and yeah, perfect.
Yeah, I can say I had this issue where you sort of have to go back and forward to get a thick enough coat on with the XJet. You don't really do wide passes because you managed to get that on really nice, but like if you look at mine here, I know it's sped up, but I have to sort of go up and down, up and down, up and down. Whereas I reckon you are right. I could have probably done it in half the time with the Pro Foam because it's just wider. Interesting. I know you can set the XJet so that it goes wider, but then there's more sort of then it just dissipates more and it's more it's thinner. When you go wider on the XJet, the spread is thinner, and so it doesn't go on the surface as nice. You have to go sort of medium in between to get enough product on the surface and also get good coverage. But when you were going on with the Pro Foam, then that was like super wide, very consistent front to back.
First time using the Pro Foam on the first job. Didn't see a massive difference between itself and the ProJet. It was a bit quicker. Definitely thicker, denser foam, but it wasn't till the second job of the day with a much larger. And
that's the same barrel, same amount of surfactant, presumably the same proportioner. Have you got the switch tip on there? No. Yeah, presumably it's the same proportioner. Very, very cool. If you don't know, this is Cedars exterior cleaning. You should go give them a follow. Doing loads of really pushing the video content at the minute. I like it. Used your code today, saved me 150 quid. Thank you. The Good to Vacuum Systems one. You're very welcome. So Matt says, here we go. To figure out your dilution ratio, or how much chemical you're going to use, take the square meters, divide by 4. I work on a 4 square meter per dilute litre. Okay. Divide by 5. If you're going in at 5 to 1, 300 square meters will take around 15 neat litres once it's pulled through. You will lose some down the gaps in the block paving. You'll get about 6 to 8 square meters per litre. At 1 to 5, 6 to 8 square meters per litre. That sounds That doesn't sound like a lot. Luke! 23 reasons why I'm a naughty man. 23 reasons why I need a Moja 1. Luke, you're not having my Moja 1. Thank you so much for the 23 months of being a circle member. Very cool. Thank you, mate. Hello, Liam. You're right, mate. What you said in the Discord was correct. It won't have an instant reaction, but it can draw iron from the slate. Okay, there you go. Go away, we don't like window cleaners. I never said that. I never said it out loud. Adam, welcome. Sorry if I've missed anyone. Why do you call it hypo and not simply bleach? That's a good question. Because it's like secret sauce, isn't it? It's like industry language, I suppose. No, I mean, it's not bleach, is it? It's when you think of bleach, it's like household toilet bleach. It's not really that, is it? Liam, have you started window cleaning again? Why do you have such delay? Are you talking about me reading the chat? It's because I'm trying to read everyone's message. And when I stop and do something, the messages keep going and then I try and catch up because I don't want to miss anyone. So I'm probably quite far behind. Why is my XJet not pulling any chemical? Really pissing me off now. Just sprays water. The pipe is down in the chemical. I just don't get it. Can you get a dodgy XJet? This is brand new. Lee, there's many things you could be doing wrong, unbeknownst to you. I put a video recently on my page, which you might find pretty useful. It's this one here. The phrase game changer is one of the most overused terms in the pressure washing industry, but I think I found something that actually meets that standard. This is ball valve, so you don't. I didn't know. I obviously paid the for just. So I'm going to show you exactly what I do to make sure my XJet is drawing chemicals, because there's actually quite a few things that to learn. The other thing I've done to make our life a little bit easier is, because we're drawing straight from a barrel, I've drilled a hole in an old cap that I had left over from an old empty hypo barrel, and it's just snug enough where it will keep the hose in position, and that means that I can adjust it to whatever size barrel I'm using to make sure it's touching the bottom, because quite a common issue, this hose can twist and spiral back up, so if you push it in too far you'll end up having the hose in this position inside the barrel and it's not drawing any chemical, it's just drawing air. So I set it to the right height there. Very common issue, especially with some of the cheaper XJets. If you've got one of them, not calling out any names, if you've got a cheap version of the XJet, chances are it's come with one of those cheaper hoses and it's been wound up in the box, and when you get it out the box, the hose doesn't change shape, it's constantly in that position. So when you try and feed it down into your barrel, it spirals back up and it pokes out the top of the fluid, and you think it's all the way in there, but it's actually poking up and it's just drawing air. The other thing that can happen, and then I can just pop it in like that, and that's perfect now. The other thing that I'll do is drill a little breather hole in the top of the cap, because if this was an airtight seal on this barrel, it's gradually going to get squeezed in and create a vacuum, and it's going to be harder and harder to draw the chemical, and so you need a little bit of pressure release on the top of the cap there. So we're going to get started on this patty. The other thing you can do, which I've started noticing over the last 12 months or so, just randomly, if you are able to lift your barrel in the beginning above your trigger. That make like it's going to be tough with like a big 20-litre barrel, for example. But if you've got like a small 10-litre or a 5-litre container, and you can lift that above your trigger, it will help the suction, and you'll get more chemical through more efficiently. Is that true? Does the Venturi system where how do I describe it? I don't even know how to type that in. Does it make a difference if the thing that you're sucking is lower than the outlet, is higher than the outlet? I mean, it does in practice. It definitely does, because I've noticed it a lot, but I don't know how to type that into Google. Could also be your little ball valve isn't open, which I doubt. I'm sure you'd have checked that. 102 people watching, is that a record? No, when I had guests on, some of my guests have drawn huge numbers. That's pretty good though, isn't it? You got it from Equip to Clean. Well, my friend, that says it all. The other thing that can happen as well is if you've got if you've got an air leak anywhere on that hose, so you know where your hose clips into the bottom of the XJet, if that little, you've got a wing nut on yours, you've got a yellow wing nut, and if you've not tightened that up properly, or if it's not making an airtight seal, you'll just be sucking air and you'll never get that chemical through. So all of the fittings along that hose, from where it goes into the chemical all the way to where it touches the gun, that all needs to be airtight, else it won't create a vacuum and draw that chemical. So if you've just put the hose onto the barb fitting and you've not screwed it in with a wing nut, which I think is the biggest design flaw on that particular model, then that's probably the reason. You bought a Chinese copy. I mean, that's not my words, but good luck talking to Equip to Clean customer service. Some people think the tools make the foam. It does not. The surfactant does. You might be spraying hypo without realizing. Yeah, that's another thing. Oh, you tried to speak to Equip to Clean and got nowhere. That's interesting. Not heard that one before. It's definitely not spraying SH. I've added washing up liquid to foam it up. I would avoid doing that personally. Get yourself some proper surfactant. Go and have a look on Pure Seal's website and get yourself some Surf Boost. You only need about 500 ml of this stuff in a big 25-litre barrel. Is my stream doing okay today? Because my internet or the computer, something, it's taking ages to load, to do anything on my computer. I don't think it's my internet. Look, it's just taking so long. What the hell? 500 ml of this to one of those big barrels, so you can get 10 uses out of one of these little 5-litre containers. Way better than washing up liquid. Also, Matt, I think there is something in the XJet that does make it foam, by the way. Other than obviously the surfactant that you put in the hypo, I think there is like a little, like a gauze thing. Might be in the Pro Foam, I can't remember. Sorry, I'm just scrolling back up. Oh, you're using the HypoJet from Equip to Clean. Yeah. Pro foam for the win. Don't even take my XJet with me anymore. Really? I mean, I think the XJet's still good for like rinsing down and stuff. I think it's a very versatile nozzle. The Pro Cannon is wicked because you can put whatever nozzle you want on the end. Really? I needed the Pro Cannon today. I didn't know you could stick a nozzle on the end. I thought it was just like the I thought it was just a sniper nozzle, Pro Foam. I didn't know you could put a nozzle on the end, because that's what I needed today when I was up on that tower. When I was up on the,
to be able to pop that.
I was doing this. Look, the only chemical applicator I had for this was the XJet, and to get it as far as I wanted to get it, I had to turn the pressure up on the machine quite high, and then I wasn't getting the sort of dilution ratio that I wanted, and it was just pulling too much water rather than enough chemical. And because I couldn't get the picker any further back. That was sort of as far out as it extended, and I didn't want to go any closer to the tent. So I could have really done with like a shooter tip or something to get the chemical all the way out. Cannon. It was Canon double N. Pro Can. Pro Foam. Pro Foam. Pro Cannon. Oh, I didn't realise it had a quick release on the end. That's a cool idea. See, what's going on with my computer? And then I click the search bar and then it loads. That's very cool. That's very interesting. That could be my next purchase. I don't need it very often, but there's some very specific use cases where it would come in very handy. And now that we've got the switch tip as well, we don't need all this nonsense. Okay. Okay. Thanks, Liam. Liam, have you got any videos of you using that? Slightly quicker than the XJet and more versatile. Yeah, I mean, when you put whatever nozzle you want on it, you could put like a nice 65-degree like high flow nozzle on it, couldn't you? Doesn't foam as much, but it covers great area. Okay. How's your impersonation of the Irish bloke going? He's still in my head daily. Jick. I'm not going to do it. Can someone recommend a good XJet, please, so I can order a new one? We can make this one work. We can make the one you've got work. We can. The only issue with the one you've got, right? Let's dig in. Let's dig in. It's doing it again. Look. Right. Pro. No, it's called. What's it called? HypoJet. It's called the HypoJet 2, I think, because they improved it. What is going on? And then I click, and then it loads instantly. What is that? How annoying. Right. So the only issue you've actually got with this, the only issue, cheap hose that stays in this position. So you get it out the box and it doesn't unravel itself, like you'd get with like a, I don't know, the one from AC pressure washers that I got is just like a thicker, heavier hose, and it doesn't stay in a spiral when you, like, it's a nicer hose for some reason. But you still want like a clear wire reinforced hose, because any suction hose that's designed to either suck chemicals or water, it needs to not be allowed to sort of collapse on itself under suction, so it needs to have that wire reinforcement in it. And the other design flaw on this, in my opinion, is that brass barb fitting, which means that you need these little dingalingers, these little wing nuts, and we can fix this. we can fix it. Also, that filter is far too big. You can't get that filter in like the little 5-litre containers, I think. Let's see if Rutland Pumps sell the things that you need to fix this. You need I should probably go and get mine out of the van. It's going to be covered in hypo. Is it a 1/4 inch quick release? Or is it an 1/8 inch quick release? QR. Quick release. It's probably a 1/4, isn't it? Is that it? No. Low pressure. I should call Ben, but it's too late, isn't it? Large quick release male plug. It's like that. So that, instead of that barb fit in there, you want something like that to screw into the bottom of it. 1/2 inch. 1/4 inch. We're on the right track. 3/8. I don't know which size that you'd need. Does it say? We can fix it. We can. Can anyone help? What size do we need? Mini 1/4 inch. That one. And is it stainless steel? Because we could do with a stainless steel one to stop it corroding. Okay. So you need one of them. And then you need the male. And then you just need to thread your hose onto it. So you can fix it without buying a whole new one. Or what you can do is probably get in touch with Rutland Pumps or AC pressure washers and say, I bought the wrong one. Can you send me a new hose, a good hose, and that little section? You know what I mean? And I bet they would. That was what I was going to say earlier. The only other thing that I've etched by mistake was some galvanized drain covers. I etched it with some hydrochloric acid when we were doing a driveway clean after the builders had been in and like totally ruined the driveway. They got like cement staining all over the driveway. So we used a lot of acid on it. And I hadn't realised that the hydrochloric acid etches these galvanised drain covers. You know, the ACO drains that go in front of the house. The metal covers on those, they like etched. But I don't think the customer even noticed or cared because we did such a good job on the drive. The stream's fine. Okay, cool. I'm very nervous before my first job. How was it for you? I'm starting my pressure washing business in 2026 in Switzerland. I'll be working with hot water and doing it professionally, but I only have the theoretical knowledge about everything. Welcome. I don't think I've seen your name in the chat before. That's very cool. What, out of interest, what's preventing you starting right now? Why do you need to put it off until 2026? Chances are your situation is going to be massively different in 6 months' time, and you might find that you want something different, or that your situation changes so much that you can't do that anymore. However, if you start your path towards starting your business right now, and investing and making changes to your life so that your business can be successful. Maybe doing a couple of jobs here and there for friends and family and sort of get the ball rolling with the business right now. It means by 2026, you could be 6 months ahead. And it doesn't necessarily mean spend loads of money now and invest loads of time now, but it means start getting the ball rolling, you know what I mean? How is it for you, first jobs? I was talking to Soph about this the other day, who's my partner. I said, it's amazing how the jobs we're doing now, for example, like that stretch tent that we did today, this job would have intimidated the hell out of me when we first started. It's a commercial job. Well, it's a commercial customer. It's an obscure one. It's one that I don't have a lot of experience with. People look at this online and think, oh, he knows exactly what he's doing here. But no, I did the TP last year. We've done multiple test patches on the whole thing. I'm not just guessing. We've made sure it's going to work. I've got the appropriate access in so that I can, get to where we need to get to. And I've measured things on Google Earth to make sure we can get as far as we need to get. And, there's decent access all around and stuff. A job like this would have intimidated the hell out of me a couple of years back because of the unknown, because I wasn't sure whether I was going to get a good result, or I wasn't sure whether I had the right equipment. And it really is lack of experience. This big block magic job that we're doing, where was that? This one. I was thinking about this the other day. Like 240 odd square meters. Just cleaning and resanding this would have massively intimidated me when I first started. Just wanting to make sure I do a good job for the customer and stuff, making sure they're happy. I didn't even really think twice about this one. Knowing that we've also got to paint the whole thing grey as well and put in the silver hard setting sand. And I've quoted well for it and the customer's happy with the price, and it's not a cheap job, and it's a hell of a lot of work, and it's a lot of product up front. And it's like, I haven't even really thought about it twice. And this job, I'd have been worrying about this for weeks and weeks and weeks leading up to it last time. And I'd have probably got sometimes I make myself ill from worrying so much about stuff. Some of the jobs we're doing at the minute, some of the stuff we're taking on, it's amazing how different I feel about it all. And it's just experience. There is no replacement for experience. And once you start getting confident doing stuff, when you do something just once or twice, and you think, oh God, that wasn't as bad, or God, I messed that up, I know what to do differently next time. It's such a game changer. It's amazing what you're capable of, and it's amazing how far you can come in just a couple of years. And a couple of years sounds like a long time to some people, but it's not. It flies by. Absolutely flies by when you're building something. It's very cool. I remember starting out and thinking, I remember my first job, it was I think it was Sophie's mum's drive. It was my first block paved drive. She said, are you gonna resand it then? I went, oh no, I wasn't gonna resand it. And then her sort of gardener guy said, yeah, you need to resand it, mate. I was like, oh, I didn't think I'd have to resand it. That's a ball ache, isn't it? And so I did it, and I was like, I don't want to be resanding these driveways. Maybe this isn't for me. And then obviously I got a lot of experience and stuff. And then after that, I was like, God, this ceiling sounds like an absolute ball ache. There's so much to go wrong. It's so expensive. Like, no one's going to go for it. Like the money that you'd have to charge to make it worthwhile, just no one's gonna pay that. And then the amount of sealing jobs I'm doing, it's like I never thought I'd be in this position doing this much sealing work. It is very nerve-wracking at first when you're not confident in your equipment because you haven't had much time to use it, and when you're being constantly introduced to new surfaces, and your customers are constantly pushing, oh, can you do this and can you do this, and you think, yeah, I could probably do that. I haven't done it before, but I could probably do that. One thing I would say is don't pretend to be super confident in front of your customer to try and impress them or to try and win the job. Be honest, be really honest, and it won't be to your detriment. I can assure you. If your customer says, can you do this, or have you done this before, a lot of people's natural instinct is to say, oh yeah, I've done 3 or 4 of them, yeah, and it's like, it's so much nicer, it's so much more alleviating with you, but for you to just be like, I haven't actually, but I've done some research into this and I'd like to give it a go. That's so much easier and nicer, and now you and your customer are on the same page, and at that point they're probably rooting for you and wanting you to do well. And if you sort of oversell it and then you mess it up slightly, they think, hang on, you told me you've done this before. It's so much easier just to be honest. I promise you. That's the one piece of advice I will give you. If you listen to anything tonight, be honest. Your PC is acting like Jack, always hours behind. There's a thing to aid it, yes, but it won't create a volume of foam. Yeah, if you've got no surfactant, it's not going to foam, is it? Pro foam for hypo every time, wider, more consistent coverage. That's interesting. I've been telling people for ages to get the ProJet over the pro foam. I had to go on Richard's, my mate Rich, and he had one of the early pro foams when it first released, and it seemed to be quite sort of dribbly and a bit inconsistent with the foam. I wonder if it was the settings on his machine we didn't have quite right, because on that video just then it looked much more consistent and much nicer coming out of the nozzle. When applying chemicals, how do you avoid the product drying out after like 10 to 15 minutes? Would you apply more chemical or just spray some water to keep it wet? Good question. House to a home. That's a cool name. Very good question. In this weather, you're going to find that your hypo does any chemical you put down. Actually, it could be some TFR or your Synergy on the gutters, faces, and soffits. You put the chemical down, and it starts to dry out. And pretty much as soon as it's dry, or as soon as it's evaporated, it's no longer active on the surface. It's not going to do anything because it's all gone. And the only thing you can really do, your surfactant is going to increase the dwell time. So the surfactant's going to help prevent it from dissipating down into the joints. So if you've got no surfactant in it, it's just going to evaporate straight away, and it's going to seep down into the joints, and it's not going to stay where you want it. The foamier you can get it, you don't want it too foamy because then it takes ages to rinse, but the foamier that you can get it, the more it's going to stay on those high points. You'll notice if you haven't got enough surfactant in, all the low spots on the patio, for example, get treated, but all the high bits on the pavers, on the slabs and stuff, when you've got the riven effect slabs, all the high bits stay dirty and like loads of black spots and stuff, and all the low bits look really great, and that might mean you've not got enough surfactant. So your surfactant is the main thing. Agitating it so you can get a little bit of increased dwell time by putting your hypo down or putting your chemical down, and then going in after about another 5-10 minutes and just giving it a nice brush with like a soft brush. Probably not a stiff brush. We find that like a soft flocked brush works best. You want to find yourself like a plastic one with plastic fittings, because the metal ones, especially if you've got metal screws in there, if you're constantly using those for hypo, they're going to start to rust and you'll snap them and you end up going through loads of different brooms. We've still got the same one that we've had since Jakey's been with me, I think, pretty much, because it's like a plastic, it's a little plastic one. So you can agitate it. If you wet the surface again, if you put your hypo down and then you're trying to keep it active by putting, you know, wetting it and putting more water on it, you're just going to dilute it, and you might as well just be allowing it to evaporate at that point. You don't want to be diluting your chemical. I mentioned it to Jakey the other day. We were doing that drive, putting the hypo down, and then I've sort of encouraged him to, you know, put the hypo down and then rinse the fence above it, because you get all these little splash marks of the hypo going up the fence. But as we're rinsing the fence, we're also got to watch out for all that water coming down onto the bit that you've just put hypo on, and you're sort of diluting it with all that water again. So you don't want to rinse the fence too much. You just want to rinse it enough to get rid of any of those chemical spots and not dilute the surface underneath. The only thing you can really do for it to be as effective as you need it to be is more surfactant and just put more chemical on. So apply the chemical again. What you could do is lower the dilution ratio, knowing that you might have to apply it twice. So you're not using strong hypo twice, you're using slightly weaker. You're using slightly weaker hypo twice, and you're not using as much, you know what I mean? So you still get the dwell time, but you're using less product. How far is a bag of Nexus Polysweep go for you, Jake? I've got 133 square meters, but unsure of consumption. Very, very consistently 15 square meters per bag. And I haven't noticed a difference in the size of the joints either. It seems very consistent. One bag, 15 square meters. What chemicals did you use on the canvas? That was just hypo. And again, I wouldn't have thought hypo on this. I'd have thought, oh, I need something special because I don't want to bleach it. But we did test patches. I cleaned it the same way last year and it comes up great. I still don't know what material it is. Some sort of plasticky canvas material. No discoloration whatsoever. And it come up absolutely beautifully. Brought some of that colour back as well, like it was super faded before. And it wasn't just because it was wet. There were places where it was wet. I'll show you. So see this. I thought, oh, it's darker and the colour's richer because it's wet, and it actually wasn't. It was you can see the wet places where we haven't chemically treated, and it hasn't increased the richness of the colour. The whole thing is like faded. It almost looks like it's sun damaged, but then when we put the hypo on, it just absolutely brings the colour back beautifully. Very very lovely finish. I was considering treating it with biocide afterwards, but they had that funeral, so I didn't want to put any biocide down. It's 92 degrees here right now, too hot to power wash. That sounds like perfect weather for pressure washing. Why would it be too hot to pressure wash? I've not used the yellow clamp to tighten it. I thought it would be tight enough, so I'll use the clamp tomorrow to give it a go. Yeah, that sounds like that's probably what the issue is. Yeah. You are using a mask. Oh, you're talking to someone else. Have you gone quiet, Jake? No. I do feel bad for I can see a lot of comments in the Discord and a lot of comments on Facebook saying like it's absolutely dropped off a cliff and no one's got work and stuff. I don't want to be that guy that's like, yeah, we're super busy, and I'm not. I saw someone comment the other day in one of the Facebook forums and say, wait for the guy to come in that says he's super busy and he's booked up for 3 months and stuff. I don't want to be that guy, but we are doing very well at the moment. I've just changed my website to sort of weed out the people that are messing me about, because obviously we get a lot of messages and stuff on TikTok and Facebook and Instagram and whatever. And so some of you might know that I've been directing people to the website instead, because instead of trying to reply to messages and say, oh, have you got photos? Have you got, can I take your full address? Because no one ever sends you their address for some reason. And they'll say, do you cover this area? And it's like, to save the whole back and forth for every single person, because we get loads of messages and it takes so much time to go back and forth with everyone, and then remember to reply to everyone as well. Oh, I've also put videos on my website now. I'm not sure these are the best videos to put on the front page of my website, but I thought a normal driveway clean with hard setting sand is pretty good. Tarmac sealer, I thought that's pretty good, and then a roof cleaning video. I thought that was like the three good ones, and they've all done quite well. But then at the bottom of the website we've got click here to contact us. So I used to have a contact form, but what I realized was happening was people were uploading images and clicking submit, thinking, great, I've done it. But when they clicked submit, there was a tiny little error message that completed the form, but it said the files you've uploaded, the files you've attached were too large. And so I'm not getting like half of these contact forms. It's not half, but there must be so many contact forms that I've just missed because they haven't been sent to my email address. So instead, and that's one of the downsides of using GoDaddy, is that their upload limit is, I think it's 10 megabytes. I think. Oh, I never sorted these little links out, did I? Did I? Yeah, I did. And so instead what I've done is remove the contact form, and I've got a button here that takes me to a Google form, which I made earlier today. Why is it doing this? So this Google form asks people, they must fill all the fields in, because that's what I was having with the other one. People were like not giving me their full address. They were leaving out their postcode. They were not giving me their phone number, or that, it's just not filling out the form correctly, which was really annoying. So I've made this contact form. Anyone can do this. It's super easy. And this is a good way of weeding out the people that aren't actually interested, which is, it's counterintuitive and it's weird, but I'll get so many messages from people that don't intend to get any work done whatsoever. They just for some reason want a price. They want a quick and dirty price, only to say not interested, thanks, or whatever. And you go through all the effort of getting all their details from them, because these are the same sort of people that don't want to give you their full address for whatever reason. They want a quote, but they don't want to give you their full address. And then you'll go through all the rigmarole of putting a quote together for them, and then you just never hear from them. So to weed out those people, I only want serious people that get in touch. I only want to do quotes for serious people. So asking them to go to my website and fill out this contact form means they have to give me all their details. So I'm not going back and forth asking for their postcode or their phone number or whatever. It's asking for a description of the job. And then I've said you can upload up to 10 images with a maximum file size of 100 megabytes. So that should sort that. And then how should we contact you? Anyone can do this. And it's really, I think it's a really good idea. And you can actually, if you don't want, I found out if you don't want that file uploader, if you don't want this bit, you can actually embed this form into your website. So you can have it visible. You can have the document here. And it will look like this, but it will be embedded into the website. So you don't have to click a button. But I couldn't do that because I've got this file uploader and it wouldn't let me do it. When can you get me on the live then? I promise to behave myself. Come on tonight if you want, if you're not busy. You've got an absolute, I remember you were dropping some golden nuggets before. Tip for the XJet 2 hose: if you submerge it in boiling water for a few minutes, it becomes a lot softer and forgets the original rolled up shape. Fresh rinse, coming in with the knowledge, there you go. AC pressure washers sell the conversion kit, it's linked on their XJet. Is it? They know what's up. I am so far behind, I can't believe it. I've just scrolled down. Oh my god. What? I'm so far behind. AC pressure washers. Come on. Everything's so slow today. This is very frustrating. I feel like I need to restart my PC or something. Something ain't quite right. Where's the link? It's a conversion kit. I need some of these, by the way. You can get the 3/4 inch plastic ones because my metal brass ones keep falling off. Quick release guide. Mini quick release probe inlet. Oh. Mini quick release probe inlet. So it's not the brass barbed one. Do they just need to update the photo? Maybe they've changed it back again because they got rid of this one and they modified it before. Mini quick release probe. That's it, isn't it? Hi mate, not sure if you mentioned this already in the live, but I'm adding pressure washing to my services. What's the best way to get customers? Is Bark any good? When you say you're adding it to your services, what do you do already, Sheldon? Do you already have a list of customers? It's much easier to upsell to your current customers than it is to find new ones. I'd recommend starting there. Yeah, that's the one, isn't it? XJet conversion. This is just taking so long, I'm sorry. There go the fireworks again for no reason. In my town there's someone died recently. And every night since the young lad died, they've been letting off fireworks. Every single night. and now the dog's running around the house going crazy. So inconsiderate. I can't find it. Hi Jake, just wanted to introduce myself as I'm brand new to the industry, but I've got to say your videos have been massive help getting me set up. Nathan, welcome. Thank you so much. It's very kind of you. I'm starting off. What's the best way to get your name out there? I've posted roughly 400 flyers. I've got a Facebook page that I share every day. It's a good start. Yeah. It doesn't happen overnight. Keep sharing, keep posting new content. I'd say Facebook and Instagram are the easiest ones to start to build a following, build a local following. The other thing a lot of people don't do is they forget to tag their location. When you're posting something on Facebook or Instagram, make sure you tag your location so that it presents it to more people in your local area. That's a massive one that people forget to do. Just keep consistent, mate. It doesn't happen overnight. As Cedars said regarding finding work, found my best customers getting out and about with some flyers and not selling the service firsthand. Not quite going door to door yet though. I'm not keen on door knocking personally, but that's just me. Only advice for anyone starting out: know your worth. Doing jobs for 100 quid will give you no longevity in this industry. Very good point. It's also try and figure out your pricing as well early on. I'd say get yourself a price list. Get yourself a pricing structure. I know it's hard when you haven't really done many jobs before, but if you get yourself into a community like ours, you can ask advice on pricing. We've got a whole section here dedicated to pricing and value, just here. So we discuss it in depth, and you can start to build yourself up like a pricing list. And that way you'll know that you've accounted for everything and you're not going to be undercharging. It doesn't need to be a strict price list, but something rough to go off. And a way to price stuff. You're going to have customers asking you to do like other stuff, and you sort of want to have it in your head which sorts of services you're going to be offering. You can't be too narrow-minded like I was when I first started, thinking I'm only going to do pressure washing. Because you've got to remember that your customers are going to ask you for other services as well, things like window cleaning. They're going to want to know if you do gutters or garden clearances and stuff, and you've got to learn when to say no, and when to take on those additional jobs that you think are going to be beneficial to your business. Some of those jobs are going to be very distracting and not worth your time, and they're going to take away from the direction that you want to go. They're going to take up so much of your time and energy and send your business off in a slightly different direction that you didn't actually want to go in the first place. But your customers can be very convincing sometimes, so you've got to be careful. But yeah, know your worth. Don't do work for friends and family. They will recommend you regardless. Go and clean some drives for people you don't know. New clients equals a new network of people. I don't agree with that. No, I'm not sure about that. That was where my business started, was doing jobs for my mom and for my nan and my sister, and them sharing those jobs that I did on their Facebook pages and saying, look what my son's just done. And then I got jobs from all of her friends on Facebook, and that's how my business started. So I don't agree with you there personally. I think friends and family is a great way to start because it's low risk, because they understand that you're just starting out, and so the stakes aren't as high, but you can still learn your equipment, and hopefully they still want to pay you and get some money in your pocket for the next job. With your pour on method with tarmac sealer, do you use more product overall? It's a negligible amount. For the coverage that you get, it's hardly noticeable. On those, we've only done it on 2 jobs so far, but I didn't notice. I used about as much as I thought I was going to use. Maybe slightly more, but we're going to be doing it again on Wednesday. I'm working out of my car, and I have a little car, so I'm currently only doing pressure washing, but a lot of people have said to me I need to get into gutter clearing, as that's what most people want. Yeah, I mean, look at the demand in your area, I suppose, and when you get into multiple services like that, it means you're definitely going to have to get a van, because if you think your pressure washer is going to take up so much room, yes, you can take it in and out your car, not ideal, but when you get a vacuum, and then you need all the poles to go with it, and bags and brooms and then ladders. You're going to need ladders, in my opinion, if you're going to start offering gutter clearing. It's counterintuitive with gutter clearing. You think, I've got the poles, I can do everything from the ground now. But I would argue that you absolutely need a set of ladders to get yourself up to the gutter line. If you haven't got a camera, you still need to get yourself up to the gutter line to check. And even if you do have a camera, what happens when you get a blockage in a downpipe? Which happens on probably 3 out of every 10 jobs. You get a fully blocked downpipe that you can't clear with your vacuum. Then what are you going to do? You need to get up there with a ladder, and you need to disassemble the downpipe and clear it by hand. You still gone clear, Jake? No jam shed. Jam shed. Oh, is that the wine? Yeah, I'm 4 months sober. For the first time in over 10 years. Doing well. Don't even miss it. Don't care. Not bothered. I've been having non-alcoholic beers and stuff, and they've just been crap. I don't enjoy them, so I don't think I'm going to bother with those anymore either. I had a non-alcoholic Guinness last night, and it was rubbish. Craig's spitting some absolute facts with the leaflets. Algovic, welcome. I've seen a lot of your roof biocide videos and how you do it in the UK. You let the biocide flow down the drain. Here in Sweden, we need to be careful not to have any biocide go down the drain spouts. No, we disassemble the downpipes when we put the biocide on. When we do the roof clean, we disassemble the downpipes, and the biocide doesn't go down into the drains. Most of the time, it just goes onto the drive or onto the stones. It gets redirected or collected. Hello, Jack. My name's Jake, by the way, everyone. There's a running joke in the stream that someone called me Jack and now it's stuck. Just to answer the question from the title, I don't know, but we should ask Starmer. I tend not to talk about politics because I don't know much about it, but I'll take your word for it. Can I jump on live with just the phone camera? Yeah. Yeah, you can. I don't know if I've got you on. Are you in the Discord though? I don't know if I've got you in the Discord. Are you in the Discord still? There you are, Cedars. I don't want a camera. Oh, that's video chat. Hang on. I think it'll crash my camera if I do that. We need to be friends. I think I've sent you a friend request. We're friends. Do 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 do. Hello. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. I like the project for its versatility at other things if you have a budget for one tool. Project / XJet. However, if you can afford both, get both. Hello.
Hello.
How's it going?
It's going well. So yeah, I'm getting out of bed just for you.
Oh. Do you
Bear
think
with me 1 second.
you should be able to turn your camera on?
I will do.
I can't do mine because my stream is using my camera, so I don't want it to like freeze.
Okay, bear with me 1 second. I'll be with you.
No rush, matey. I don't doubt your experience, mate, but maybe I'm lucky, but those who have called me or booked me in on the drive have given great feedback on the flyer. Are you talking about leaflets? Flyer design is key. Just bought another 16,000. Also dropping flyers in the area. Don't often get flyers, see higher results. Still using the same flyer. Learn to sell yourself. I met a cool guy today at Screwfix. He said he watches my videos. And he seemed like a very good sort of salesman. He'd been doing it for a long time. Love the channel. Keep up the good work and the great info. Thanks, Reef. Cheers, matey. I love door knocking. Love meeting new folk and selling my service. Connor. Jake, I've been waiting ages to actually catch one of these. Oh, nice. Connor, welcome. I'm really far behind on the chat, so you'll have to excuse me. I'm sorry. It sounds like I'm going slow. It's not slow. You're not. I'm not behind. The stream's not behind. I'm behind. Great work on the not drinking. Thank you. Bravo. Thanks. I have a little Yaris. Hello, matey. Oh, you got your banner. If you could turn your phone sideways, that might be better for the viewers. That's it.
I don't do technology, mate. Bear with me.
You do. You're a professional YouTuber. Well, Facebook reel maker now.
And I'm just surrounded by 16,000 leaflets in every crevice.
Talking about crevices already. It's a good start, isn't it?
Got to be done.
Cedars, welcome.
Oh.
This is impromptu, isn't it?
Thank you very much. It is. I was in bed. We've got a 4-week-year-old, so it was like everything's tired. I've just had surgery last week, so I had a week off, and it's absolutely bored the hell out of me.
4-week-old.
Yeah, fresh one, 4 weeks old, little boy.
Congrats. That's
It's crazy.
What's it
How
like?
many have you got? You just got one.
I've got a 4-year-old girl. She's about to be 5 next month, and then I got a 10-year-old boy as well.
Oh, you left a good gap. The second one's hard, man. It's a shock. We thought the first one was perfect. It was easy, no stress, no hassle. This little one's come out in here. He's trying his luck.
Okay. What's made you order 16,000 more leaflets? You're pretty good at your leaflets, aren't you?
I enjoyed the leaflets. So my first ones I had done. Obviously, the background is I was landscaping since I was 18. To set my own business up, landscaping. Started off just mowing lawns, hedges, in a Renault Scenic. Literally probably doing 100 quid a week, and it was. I loved it. I am a gardener. That's what I do. I love it. Done that for 12 years. Made some good money. Did really well, but the industry is just changing drastically. Prices of materials are skyrocketing. Things are harder to get, and it's just hard work. So I need to change. So last year,
do you think that pressure washing is a sort of industry that won't do that?
I think it's easier. I don't do roof cleaning. I've done a few roof cleans. I went and did a roof clean with Sid. The Sid actually come to do a roof clean with me. I was like, Sid, I ain't done one. Do you want to come and help? And he was like, yeah, give me a day rate. Day rate was actually really good. So he come and did a roof with me. We got just over like halfway, and he was like, "Mate, I'm gonna have to get off." and I just didn't like it. Hated it. I just can't see why you'd want to do it.
Yeah.
Unless you're financially dependent on roof cleaning, I genuinely can't see the interest.
Yeah.
I just can't see that.
I know what you mean. Well, because of all the cleanup and was it like super labour intensive, or was it just the cleanup afterwards that got you?
It just kind of reminds me of the landscaping. So you've got to be organised. Obviously, if you haven't got a tower, then obviously you're renting one. Then you've got to wait for that to be dropped off, picked up. It's just other factors, like you said. There's a lot more. Then when you're up there on the roof, you sort of your equipment's on the floor. Then you're away from the van. I just think
Easier ways to make money.
100%. I think there's, don't get wrong, there's hundreds of roofs, and I think they're just a big. I think with roofs as well, if you're going to try and push for the views and stuff like that, which I am trying my very much best, I think there's a lot more. It's easy to get negative opinions with the roof cleaning. You're doing it wrong. You don't do it safe enough. That's not how you do it. Blah blah blah.
More engagement.
I'm trying to generate.
Yeah, more.
Try to nails.
I like them. Yeah, more. I suppose more engagement on the roof cleaning videos because you get all those comments, but they're not necessarily. It's not positive engagement.
That's it. It depends on what you get. Depends on what the engagement you want. I don't want negative engagement. I just don't want that. You know what I mean? I don't need it. I don't want it. I don't take kindly to it. I don't like it. And I still get guys. I repaired a block drive the other day. Literally just realigned some blocks, and the guy's like, "You're a cowboy, mate. That's not how you do it." But, mate, I've laid 500 square meters of patio. You know what I mean, I've done big jobs. I know how to lay. It's just not how you would do it.
Yeah.
And I'm replying to him, and I'm like, just ignore him.
Yeah.
Just
it's so hard to ignore. There's so many positive comments, and then the one negative one jumps out at you, and you feel like you've got to reply to it.
What they don't see is that customer literally, it failed that driveway 15 years ago, and she was like, literally, we've had tradesmen after tradesmen after tradesmen come in. Oh, we'll do that for you before we leave. We'll do that before you leave. I said, well, I will do it. And she was like, yeah, well, if you can, I'll appreciate it. And I did it. And she was over the moon. But like these guys on Facebook, they don't see it like that.
Yeah.
They just see that you've charged thousands for it.
Yeah.
You've conned the customer. And it just, you actually love it. It makes you laugh. It's just, you've got to, it is tricky. Like I said, I've just hit, I think I've just hit, so this month, I think I've nothing like what you'd get or anyone else, but I think I've just hit 1 million over 90 days views. In the last 28, I think I've hit 600,000. But it ain't easy.
Are you getting work through? Do you think that your social media is the main source of your work?
No.
Really? Your leaflets?
I think the problem. Yeah, I think my problem is my social media is it's more other cleaners.
Yeah.
So it's more people who are starting off. Like I said, I don't know if you saw the comments. I don't know if you get it. I get multiple phone calls a week off other people. Just, hi mate, it's my name's such and such. I'm from. Can I just have a bit of advice off you? And I'm like, well, yeah, mate, but just it's got to be quick. And I can be on the phone for an hour. And it's just like, when do you say no?
And you don't want to be rude because they see.
I wasn't. Last September, I was him. I was asking Sid. I was probably messaging guys like you, and I was trying to pick the bones of the industry to find out what's going on. I had a guy ring me today. He's like, "Mate, I'm dead. What have I done wrong?" I said, "Mate, everyone's quiet, but you're not just in the cleaning. I know guys in the removal business. I know guys in the landscaping business. Everything, barbers. Everyone's just it's holiday period. Everyone's going on holiday. Everyone's kids have just been off. We've had 3 bank holidays in a row. It's inevitable. It happens this time of year." And he was just like, "I'll send you my leaflets over. Can you have a look at my leaflets?" And I was like, "Yeah, I can." And he sent me them. I haven't replied yet, and they're shit. That's, you know what I mean. I'll be honest with him. They just aren't. They're just not good enough. You know what I mean? And I think I've dropped leaflets through doors and looked through the door and seen 2 other pressure washing leaflets. You're like,
yeah.
Oh man, these are mine. I'm willing to show
you guys. Can we see yours?
Can you send me your leaflet, mate? I want to copy it. And I'm like, well, not really, mate. No, I'll pay for this leaflet. Yeah. That's mine.
Covering all aspects of exterior cleaning, render, window cleaning, roof cleaning, fascia soffits, gutter clearing, pressure washing. That's a good way. Is that an AI generated house?
Yeah, Yeah, so I didn't want to use a normal house because I think it just AI. People want that animation. People don't want it to be too serious.
Yeah, and you can make it perfect. You can make it clean with an AI image.
Yeah.
There's no clutter in the background. There's no
But I
cars.
think people, instead of having contact us, have actually contact like your name. So Luke. I think just add the personal aspect.
Oh,
you know what
yeah.
I mean? I think if you put us, then they're like, is there a team? Is this guy just marketing?
Yeah.
Is he a manager? Is he not the one cleaning? Whereas I'm knocking the door, I'm holding the leaflet. It's me on the leaflet. It's my name on the leaflet, and that's it. They know you're dealing with you. They know who you're dealing with. They've met you. You've broke that that social anxiety. You've broke that social barrier, and straight away they're like, "Oh, this is the guy I'm dealing with." Mint.
Yeah.
And it makes a massive difference. It's why I see guys pumping out thousands and thousands of leaflets through like Royal Mail, and everyone says the same. I don't get why people do it because I've never seen a positive outcome. I just haven't. But people keep on doing it.
Is that the same leaflet that you're putting out when you're doing those impromptu quotes? Didn't you have
impromptu?
You had a leaflet before where you were walking around and literally pricing stuff as you were walking around and just posting it through.
Yeah. So this is a new design. I haven't got my old one. I haven't got my old one. I've also got car air fresheners.
That's a cool idea. Talk about that.
I've got my old ones. Literally, mate. I've just set up an office downstairs and it's horrendous. I haven't got an old one. So yeah, I just have a white box that says, "Here's your fixed price quote for your property." So, and it works wonders. You know what I mean? People don't since COVID, I've found and stuff like that. People don't like talking to people. People don't want to phone someone because they're socially awkward. They find it, they get a bit of anxiety, they don't like it. So they've already had their price. And I've had customers even text me saying, "Hi Luke, I've had your leaflet, I've got your price, when can you do it?" And I'll just text back saying, "I'm coming next Thursday. Fantastic, send me your bank details." I haven't even spoke to them. It's like, what
That's
the
crazy.
hell? And I'm like, but that's what people want.
Do you keep a list? Where do you log that price? Oh,
The price is the price. They have to present the leaflet when I finish a job.
and you know when you're booking that job in, you obviously need to know. You need to know their address and their contact details and stuff.
Same as another quote. I'll literally just reply, "Fantastic, send me your address, send me your emails. I'll pencil you in the diary, and I'll be with you next Thursday." Once I'm complete, just present the leaflet on completion. That's it. It works wonders. So like, I'm just currently, because obviously with the landscaping, I used to work like 7 months on, 5 months off. And the winters for me, they're just not for me. I don't like the winters. I don't like the dark nights. I'm an outdoors person. The money's quieting down. It just stresses me out. So I'm just starting a window cleaning round.
So
I don't really want to.
So what do you mean by that? You're taking winter off, or you're doing window cleaning through the winter?
I usually would take winter off with the landscaping, and have still do the odd job, but not a full-time job. And just pick up once a month, do this, go and do that, fences, and have a lot of time at home and family. But obviously, with the cleaning and being new to it, and having spent probably more than I should have on stuff, I need to try and carry on through the winter a little bit.
Yeah.
Just to sustain myself, really. That's where the window cleaning is going to come in. I don't really want to do it, but I think it's guaranteed money. You know what I mean? It's not big money. You know what I mean? My cheapest quote is 15 quid on the windows. I went out today, new build estate, and just put circle the window cleaning one, and just put £14, £16, £19.
Oh, you're circling it. That's nice and easy just to be able to circle it.
Initially, I was sat the other night writing window cleaning, £12 window, and I was like, I hate this. And I always put driveway sanding clean, and I do that admittedly because I think you've got to be a bit more. They've got to know that sanding's increased in the price. And I'll sit here at night and I'll probably go through 200 and just write sanding. I'm looking at stamping, making a stamp.
That's a great idea. Yeah.
But I went out today and straight away, like I've got 15 customers for a window clean this Friday. And
are they local? It's like a tight round.
Yeah. I reckon I can get them probably done in. I reckon I can get them done by sort of 1 o'clock.
So how long ago did you start the pressure washing?
September. I rented some equipment to start with in September.
And have you already got your window cleaning set up bolted onto the side of that now? Have you got like another tank?
No, I've got. So I bought an old Mark 7 Transit, trying to get comfortable, and hang on, let me alter you a little bit. But yeah, bought a Transit, bought second. Well, I rented to start with. I had a Transit tipper, rented jet wash on the back of that. Was a Bowser that I towed around, and just wanted to make sure that it was for me.
Mm-hmm.
So when and just contacted a load of customers that I'd laid patios for and said, listen, do you want me to have a look? I can repoint it, I can jet wash it. Yes, it's September, October, but it'll be ready for spring. Yeah, no worries. And it just took from there. Then I had the chance of buying a reasonably priced 21 litre machine. So it was a machine, a ProJet, low pressure reel for filling up, the reel itself, the tank, a couple of lances. And it was like 800 quid.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, yeah, let's just get it. So I got it, bolted it to the back of the van. Went a few months on that.
Do you have it covered over?
So that was the problem. So it was like every night I was putting antifreeze in the tanks, and it was just like, oh man.
Yeah.
That's when I went to the box van, ran a little heater in it, just transferred the equipment over. But then recently, with the window cleaning, I do a lot of, like you said, started doing a bit of render cleaning locally. As much as people hate me for it, you shouldn't do it like that. You can't do it like this. The customer's happy. That's what they're paying for. I don't care.
What are the objections to render cleaning?
They're just like, you're only bleaching it. You're not rinsing it down. It's like, so a lot of people are like, you're bleaching it, but you're not cleaning it. And I'm like, well, I understand where you're coming from. You know what I mean? And like then a lot of people are saying like, oh, you've just bleached what was there. It's still there, even though you've rinsed it. My argument is, well, like when we finish cleaning the driveway and you got black spot, you only rinse it. You hypo it, then you rinse it. So you don't.
Yeah, I mean, if you're killing everything that's organic on the surface, it's eventually going to weather off anyway in the rain, isn't it? Surely.
It's just my argument is when you mop your floors in your house, you use bleach or you bleach your toilet, you don't then jet wash it.
No.
Bleach clean stuff. It's a cleaning agent.
Yeah, I've never thought of that before. That is something to think about, definitely. But
I've done a render clean within probably 4 or 5 weeks of starting, and it's been 9 months, and I could take it there tomorrow. It looks brand new.
Yeah,
the customer's stunned with the mood. There's not a single thing wrong with it, and if that lasts 12 months, it's no different to a drive. If they're having to have that done every 12 months, then what's the case? And I see guys that, I need to apply biocide. It's like, well, do I really want to create a permanent clean? Then I don't get a return customer?
Yeah, there is an argument to be said for that, yeah.
You know what I mean? At the end of the day, we're not all biocide in driveways.
Just going back a bit, you said that you got a box van. What's the disadvantage of having a box van? Because I think they seem like the perfect vehicle for this industry, but I don't see anyone with them.
What do you mean when you say box van? What do you think I mean?
Oh, I mean like one of them removal vans.
Oh no! I've got like yours but smaller, just like a Mark 7 Transit.
Why don't people use them removal vans?
I think it's just the bulkiness of it. They're not very aerodynamic, so when you are travelling distance, it's a lot.
Oh, true. Yeah.
I watched it going. I don't know where he was from. I saw it, and I can't find the video since. He used a Tesco's delivery van.
Mm-hmm.
And mate, it was amazing. Literally with the pull-up sides.
Yeah.
Mate, he literally slid the side up. There's his machine. There's his tank. Then his little one, he slid up. The narrow one that had his hoses stacked in it.
Yeah.
The next one had all his chemicals with taps on. I was like, mate, this is mint.
Yeah.
You've got access all the way around the van. You can open it up and dry it out. You can jet wash it out. It's not inside of anything, but you've got it contained.
And they're generally lined inside, so that like the Tesco ones.
Yeah. And I saw him do it. It was all pressure washed up, all blue, and it looked absolutely amazing. And I thought, you know what? I can pick them up next to nothing.
Yeah, you can, can't you?
I just think with new people, everyone wants just to, I think, I don't know. You see, when I first started, like you said, it's hard to decide on how much you want to spend on stuff. Even now, I'll speak to Tom at Clean Links. He's local to me. He's literally 5 minutes down the road. As much as he hates that, it's like, Tom. Literally messaged him like 5 times today. He's perfect. Like he's cracking. He's literally all my poles second hand are off Tom. He literally lends me bio side if I need. Just go and get it. And all right, cheers, mate.
Oh, he seems like a really nice guy.
Anyone in this Discord or anyone in this chat now, if you're going to buy some, just buy it from him purely because he's a nice bloke.
Yeah.
He's literally he's mint. I went down to his unit the other day and I was like, mate, I need to put the wand, like the sprayer. I want to connect that back to my backpack, but on a valve so I can put my pole on and put my sprayer gun back on.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense. And he was like, took his off his. He's like, should I have it? And I'm like, what you doing, mate? And he was like, nah, I'm making a one up when I'll order the bits. I was like, how much do I owe you? And he was like, oh, just call it X amount. I was like, so I give him the money, but I was just like, not many people would do that.
No.
You don't get that with big businesses. And literally, he saved the day. So I was like, oh, this is mint. But yeah, you'll notice me, I'll go off on a tangent.
Fine.
I can't stay
No worries.
subject.
The window cleaning tank. What setup have you got there?
I was using a backpack, pole, univalve, and mate, it does the trick. But like I say, because I got onto rending, I've kind of gone onto like a lot of fascias and gutters. I went and bought another tank the other day, 200 litres, but it's round. So it was cheap. It was a bit awkward to put in the van, but it's in the van. Tom, same again, gave me his old pump and controller. He was like, "Should I have it? CA, get on with it. If you're happy with it, we'll sort something out." So I set that up the other day on a spare battery. And I went and bought a reel off eBay. Didn't even buy a reel off Tom because I'm a tight ass. Went and bought a reel off eBay just to see if it worked. And yeah, that's literally it. So I can literally just pull the reel out now, pull the univalve, and I'm pumping 5 litres a minute.
When you say a spare battery, what sort of battery have you got there?
I've just got a leisure battery, so I just bought a leisure battery. Actually, I had it, but you would just buy a leisure battery, and that's just sat behind my tank. And I just literally, they're so easy to set up, and I've just got my battery connected to that.
And how are you charging that?
Well, I have got in the van, which I've took it out because it was just too complicated. So I've got a split charger. You can get them off eBay anywhere, and you literally just connect one side to your main battery, take that live across to your spare battery, then just take an earth from your spare battery to the van. And what it'll do is when your driving battery of your van is up to optimal, it'll flick over to your cleaning battery. Then when it realises that your battery in your car has dropped a little bit, it'll flick back. So your car's always at optimum. It'll favour the car battery.
I need someone to do that for me. I'd love to have something like that set up in the back of my van.
They are easy, but you can run your lighting off it. Obviously, if you had a key start, which I blew my key start engine up, but if you had a key start engine, you could run that off it. You can literally run anything off it in the back of the van. You know what I mean? They're made for caravans. You can run lighting, heaters, literally anything.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I'm getting a new setup soon, and it's going to be like a stacked frame where I've got my machine, Jakey's machine stacked next to each other with a bunch of hose reels, big 650 litre tank. And what I want to do is plumb into the side of it, like is it RO? Couple of filters coming out the bottom of it attached to a pump. And I'm thinking the best way to drive that pump is probably to have like a separate battery like that.
Yeah, I would 100%. You don't want to compromise that car battery. Car batteries aren't designed. They're designed for starting a car. They're not designed to run stuff for a long period of time.
Yeah.
But then you could also, instead of getting the split charge, you could run a solar panel, a little solar panel on the roof. The good thing with the solar panel is if you ever pulled up and the vehicle's not running and you forgot to, if you're on holiday for a week or something like that, and that solar panel's still charging them batteries, there's no coming back to a flat battery or like that. But I think it's we're talking me and you, like, you know what I mean. But I think if you're gonna start window cleaning, just get a backpack like the one you got off CleanLink the other day. That's what I use. Yeah.
I really like that one. It's much higher flow than my gardener was. I think we used it again today on that TP clean, and it was brilliant. We had to turn it right down because it was pumping out too much.
Yeah. Well, I know NI Clean are selling the acid pumps for them, aren't they?
Who? Oh, Niclean, are they?
Niclean, sorry, yeah. They're selling, so they literally sell a replacement, screw the bottom off your backpack, wang it in, done. and that's got all your Vitron seals and all your acid, so you can run your bio, your chemicals, your SH with no issues at all.
Yeah.
But they fit directly into it. I think the days of garden backpacks and stuff may have now slipped a little bit. I think you've still got your what I call tackle tarts. So it's guys who want that brand name. Yeah, I mean, they won't touch anything but Gardner. They won't touch anything but, branded names. But I think them backpacks, I've been running mine since September. I've run bio, I've run SH, I've run water. I think I've charged it 5 times.
Yeah.
It's mint.
The issue I've got with the Gardner backpacks is you pull them open and you just look at the wiring inside, and it's absolutely. I don't know how they. The way they're put together inside is just. Of course, they're going to go wrong every now and again because it looks unreliable. Some of the connections and stuff.
That's it. I had a guy the other week and he saw me scraping a roof and he was like, I'd touch base with him because this is what I would say with people. What the comments? Someone's like, "Where are you from?" I'm on local to North Hampshire. I don't know. I'm in Shropshire, West Midlands. I'm terrible with geography. I wouldn't know where you would if you put me on a map. But do you have rinse down lace for the beard? Sometimes. It actually just took loads off because it's doing me head in. That's another thing I get. There's no point wearing a face mask with your beard. It's like, I know that, but it looks better. If I put a face mask on, it looks like I'm trying. It is what it is. What were you saying? Went off tangent again.
I don't remember. I'm trying to find the backpack.
Yeah, the backpacks. Yeah. So, like, I would also another really good. It's gave me a fair bit of work. Is window cleaners. So a lot of your old traditional guys who do window cleaners won't do jet washing. It's mint. So literally, whenever you see a window cleaner, say, "Excuse me, mate. Excuse me. Is it did you do jet washing?" No, not really. I don't really bother. Oh, right. Well, I don't really bother doing window cleaning, mate. So if I give you a handful of leaflets, will you take a handful of mine? Because I don't want to do the window cleaning. It's not really I'm into. And literally, I had a guy the other day, and he got me a park home, so 82 caravans, and he was like, "Get in there," and I've started doing the fascias and gutters there, and he possibly got me a commercial job the other day, like 1,600 quid, and it's just a window cleaner. That's the best way to do it.
People look at each other like competition, and they forget the power of networking and getting to know other trades members.
But like I said, I'm out the landscaping now, and I still get phone calls, obviously, for jobs. And I literally posted on my cleaning page over there, "Guy's done my drive. I could do it myself." And I posted his job on there, and everyone's like, "Why are you posting that, mate? When like you are a landscaper?" So no, I used to be a landscaper. I don't landscape anymore. I'm not gonna not use my following on my other page just to spite someone else. And I've for years though, even the landscaping trade, I've networked with, so you can borrow tools and stuff like that. If you go and piss everyone off that works locally to you, and one day your machine goes down or your van goes down, you're not going to get the help you need.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas if you touch base with people and like you said, and like you get any issues, like with Tom, I didn't have biocide, and I said, "Listen, mate, this was before we started CleanLink. He was just a window cleaner. I bought the equipment off Facebook Marketplace off him, and I messaged him like, have you got your biocide? Yeah, I have, mate. Just come and grab it. Use what you need, and just don't worry about it." That's what it's got to be. Don't see people as competition, and they will. 100% they will. There's a few locals of me that they didn't take a shine to it, but it's weird because like the one really didn't take a shine to it, and he stopped talking to me in the street, stopped seeing me, got me rid of on all socials. But then the other day, dropped me a lead on a job, and he was like, "Oh mate, do you want to go do this?" And I was like, "Oh, he's trying to build that bridge back."
Yeah,
that's it, perfect. And I'll happily say, "Yeah, mate, no worries." It is important.
It's a weird mentality. It's like the old ice cream trucks and like window cleaners and stuff, and having turf. I spoke about it in a video the other day. I think the idea of patches and turf is so ridiculous.
No, it is. It is like, so I went out leaflet and window cleaning today. I don't want to annoy anyone, but at the end of the day, I mean, I'm not going to not go out and canvass myself because I think it's on someone else's area. But to be fair, brain by me, there's a lot of guys doing it. I think everywhere there's a lot of guys doing it, but
it's about setting yourself apart. I don't think it's about being the cheapest. It's about looking the most professional and offering the best service.
Yeah. Well, it's like I don't know if any, most of these guys on in this have probably been doing it longer than me, but half of these, of half of the guys I'm seeing starting up, they're looking at like, I had one ring me the other day, and he was like, well, message me. He's like, hi Luke, I'm going to quit my big job. I'm going to quit my full-time job. I'm going to start exterior cleaning. I was like, don't do that, mate. Just side hustle it for a bit. Don't quit your job. I'll say 15 grand. I'm going to go and buy a van for 15 grand. I was like, whoa. I said, mate, what are you on about? I said, you're going to blow all your savings on a van. I said, the van's not even the main part. I said, you know what I mean? I said, look at a logo, look at your leaflets, look at your uniform, look at a website. I said, they're the things that are going to make you look more professional. So you can have the best van in the world with the best equipment in the world, but you turn up with, sandals and a Adidas tracksuit on, people are going to be like, yeah, I'm not going to use it.
Also, you've got no customers. You can't just quit your job, spend all this money on equipment and uniform, and then expect the phone to start ringing off the hook. It literally doesn't work like that. It takes at least a year for you to develop any kind of customer base. And I think
it is right. It is right. Like the landscaping, it's weird for me because the landscaping it's sort of started falling into my lap, so I didn't have to go looking for work. I mean, my mate who owns a removal company was discussing it the other day, and he was like, "I think you're doing Facebook wrong. I think you need to push your Facebook more." I was like, "Mate, I post 20 times a week. I'm posting videos, content. I'm doing free cleans. What do you want from me?" He's like, "Well, you're not posting it like a business. You're posting it like an influencer." He said, "Your videos are like videos." He said, "Start offering, like, put your services out there and stuff like that." He said, because at the minute it looks like you're less of a business and more of like trying to be a TikToker. And I took it a bit to start with, like, what's he on about? But then I thought, you know what, he's probably right. So it is like, even it's hard even when you've been at it. I'm looking forward to September. It's been 12 months and I can start going into last year's diary and just phoning them numbers. So it's been 12 months.
I'm unsure on that because I think people want to see interesting content. They don't want to see adverts. My whole ethos on the social media side of things is advertise without advertising. And
no, I think you're right. I think every business is different, and I think people don't see what social media is now to what it was 10 years ago. It is now for entertainment. What I mean? It's what it is.
I look at stuff like even I don't want to see adverts anymore. I ain't got time to look at adverts. Have you heard of Twitch?
Yeah.
I used to watch live streams on Twitch all the time, and then I started logging in, and they'd play me 7 adverts in a row before I even got to look at any content whatsoever. And it's like I'm logging out of this app, and then I'd leave it like another couple of months, and I'd log back in. Again, they'd play me like 7, 8 adverts in a row. And I thought, I'm not doing this anymore. I'm not watching this app anymore because it's just wasting my time. I mean, arguably it was wasting my time anyway, but people don't want, we're in an age now where people don't want to see adverts. They haven't got time for it, and they'll spot one a mile off. And so you got to be really clever about the way you create content.
That's why I kind of like Facebook in a minute, because like I got monetized last month. Like, it's monetized is a bit stronger word to use. It's really not going to pay for much, but they put little adverts at the bottom, don't they? So it's not too invasive on your stuff. I don't mind that, but it is when you're watching a video. Oh, this is good, and all of a sudden you get an advert. I just scroll. I'm done. I'm next one.
Yeah,
I'm not waiting to finish.
And when as soon as you see the little sponsored banner at the bottom, where it's like, this content, this video could be interesting, but I know it's an advert because it's been paid for, because you can see it's been paid for. I'm not watching it anymore. I'm just scrolling past, unless it's super engaging.
So like I think I made $63 on Facebook this month. It was just an eye opener that you can make money on there. But like, it's just, you can't. The $1 million question is, what do people want to watch? I have spent an hour, 2 hours editing a video, thinking this is I love this. This is great. Put it on, and I get 2,000 views. I put a video the other day, literally a 6-second video of me just pointing at some block pavers, 125,000 views. It's like,
it's quick and easy content, isn't it? It's something that's
it. Facebook sees it as that video has been watched multiple times, full.
Yeah,
that's what I think it is. So we've had 100,000 people watch that for 6 seconds. So your completion rate is high. Yeah. Whereas them longer videos, you're only getting a 3-second view over a 2-minute video. to
Well,
Facebook, and a lot of people don't want to watch that.
It seems weird, but people still want value in the stuff that they're watching. People value their time more than anything now, more than ever. And if to get them past the first 3 to 5 seconds, they've got to think that that video or that content is going to be worth their while. And it's why if you put some before and after pictures and then a list of services, people are going to just see that it's an advert very quickly and scroll past. Whereas if you put some very good before and after pictures and then like a story of what happened that day, people are going to be more engaged and more inclined to click on it and actually read it.
That's it. Well, like a few months ago, I made the bold decision to start doing free cleans, community-based free cleans. So I'd put a video up on Facebook, use myself in the van, and say, listen, guys, today's Monday. I'm going to go and do a free clean this week. If I can squeeze it in, if this video gets 25 comments, 25 likes, 10 shares, you guys have earned that right for me to go and do it. And I've done a few now, and they land really well. And a lot of people are like, well, why are you doing it? I was like, well, it's covert marketing, isn't it? You know what I mean? I'm not just doing it because I love cleaning stuff for free. But if I'm going to go, if I want to get myself into a new housing estate, or I want to get myself into a new area, and you're going to go and do a free clean on a street and canvass that street, I might as well make some content to go with it, if that makes sense.
Have you found that's actually worked though? From what I have seen, people offering free cleans are the ones that have sort of made it on YouTube and social media and stuff, and they're getting to the point where they're earning so much that they can afford to go and do these free cleans. And it's not necessarily to generate work, it's just to generate views on the video. Do you think as like an early business that free cleans is actually a genuine marketing strategy? Or do you think it's a bit...
I would say so. Like I say, you got like a lot of like yourself and a lot of people I've heard in this discussion. I'd say you're wrong in the fact of saying go and do jobs for family and friends to start with. I think that's the worst advice ever. Your friends and family are going to recommend you regardless. Okay, they're your friends and family, regardless what you're doing. They're going to say, "Oh, my nephew, such and such, and my grandson, he's the one to do it." Blah blah. If you're going to go and get recommendations, you're going to go and do free cleans. Do them for brand new clients with brand new network of people. You know what I mean? Go and pick a random house that you don't know and say, listen, I'm going to do your drive for free today. I need the before and afters. I want to create some content. I want to get myself out there. There's no charge. Let me do it. That person knows people you don't. Your friends and family just know the same people you do.
What about...
I don't get it.
So you've got this brand new machine and this brand new setup that you've never used before.
Yeah.
You're happy going and trialing that on a new customer?
I don't think it works like that. I don't think anyone jumps into it at that point where they've got a brand new machine and a brand new. I mean, like, start with, you're going to do your own at home, aren't you?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? And it's jet washing. If someone turned to my house tomorrow and had a massive dirty block paver drive and they said, listen, mate, I'll be honest with you, I've just set up a business. I've got my equipment. Do you mind if I clean your drive? And what's the worst they're going to do? It's going to end up probably being clean in places and dirty in others, but it was dirty altogether anyway.
I don't know. I think it's a bit irresponsible personally. I would rather get 5 or 6 cleans for friends and family out of the way, just so I know how to use my equipment. I know what happens when the fuel runs out. I know how to adjust my revs and all that sort of stuff.
And maybe rude then, like you said, maybe because I know what you're saying.
You've got the experience in the kit beforehand. I know. Yeah, I know what you mean.
I've come from a background of running equipment and running machinery and dealing with customers. Then maybe I come into this a little bit with a bit more knowledge, and I appreciate it, if that makes sense. So maybe that's the case. I know what you're saying. I do know what you're saying. I understand that. Yeah, it's like being a tattoo artist, isn't it? You can't just go randomly tattooing people before you learn.
Yeah, I think free cleans are great for views on videos. I'm not convinced that it's going to get. I'm not convinced that it's going to generate work.
I think if you're super struggling and you are at a point where you're like, do you know what? I've had no work. I've had no. I can't generate work. So, for example, I've got a job that's just come in this week. In an area that I've not worked in before. I had a quick Google Maps. It's a cul-de-sac. There's 9 block paver drives in that cul-de-sac. So my aim will be, before I start the job, wang these in with the price, do the job, leave my. I've got like lawn signs, very American. So it just says this driveway's been completed by Cedars exterior cleaning.
That's a cool idea. Is that a ball
and I
like to
just
go and
pop-
pick them up afterwards, or you got to go and do it to resand, don't you?
Yeah, that's it. And usually, I'm usually resanding the next day. But to be honest, you'll find yourself with a sign and having a leaflet that street. You're going to be there working in the next few weeks. So you just move the sign. I literally move the sign from house to house.
That's a cool idea, actually. That is a very cool idea.
This industry is American.
Yeah.
If we just copy what the Americans do.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. Literally, there's no point trying to reinvent the wheel. You know what I mean? You don't need. I wouldn't recommend these big steel signs or these big ones on a pallet. I've gone like the Americans. It's on a little steel stake. The sign's about that big. It's got my logo, my number, driveway clean by. That is it.
Have you got a link to what sign it is? Because I'd be interested to see that.
I'll go get it out of the car for you.
No, it's okay. Just where can I find it online? Is there like a...
Oh no! In all fairness, I just went to the guys who did this sign, who did my van, and I just said, "Listen, I want a, a 12-inch by 8-inch sign with this on." And they literally had it done. But they were like 15 quid each.
That's so worth it, isn't it? Especially when there's like 3 or 4 days between resanding or something. Sometimes we've left it a week sometimes, and if our little sign was on the garden for that long, that'd have been awesome.
I'll give you all the tips, but what I'll end up doing, I'll be even quieter then because everyone's talking.
No, I think a lot of what you're doing is like very inspiring with the leaflets and stuff. I think you're doing things properly. You're not just trying it. You're not dabbling. You're going all in, aren't you?
It's like these little car air fresheners.
Mm-hmm.
So like my argument was, I think I was watching Young Cleanables the other day. I think it was Young Cleanables, and they were on about marketing pens and mugs, and it takes 3 times for a customer to use you before they 3 times for a customer to see your leaflet before they use you. It's about brand recognition. It's about a customer seeing you multiple times before they go, we're going to use them. And I thought to myself, well, what do you see every day? And I thought, it's a car air freshener, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
You get in the car, it's in front of you, it smells nice, you notice it, and realistically, for anything like me, it'll stay in there for a year.
I've still got the uncleanables one from the expo.
So I literally had these made up. It's got the services on the back.
That's cool.
Business name, logo on the front.
Good idea.
Numbers.
But does it smell good?
Oh, amazing! Absolutely, they do actually. I've got one in my car, and every time I get in, I'm like, you know what? They're actually really good. And I got a couple hundred, and straight away I took a couple hundred to a car wash, local car wash. I said, listen, mate, just give them to everyone. Just give them to every single car that comes in for free. And he was like, you don't want anything for them? I was like, no, just give them out. Because I thought to myself, at the end of the day, you're in front of a couple hundred people, and you haven't took them anywhere. You haven't paid for them to be distributed, and they're going to have people in the car. They're going to have friends in the car. And not just that, they're going to look at it. And even if they don't have the work, but someone says to them in a couple of months' time, do you know anyone who does jet washing? It's like, oh, do you know what? I had a car air freshener, and that's all it takes. Yeah. It's just, it's been in front of them for months.
Regan says, hypo-scented car air fresheners. That's a great idea.
In all fairness, someone commented on my Facebook the other day, we're like, is it hypo-scented? It was probably him.
Ice scrapers in the winter are a good one. Yeah, that's a good idea.
Good idea. Yeah, like I said, it is just about being that a little bit. Yeah, like I've just bought these. Literally, I'm a little bit marketing crazy, but then these leaflets, what I pay for the design, what I pay for the leaflets, I went out and did a couple hundred leaflets the other day. They're paid for already.
You're going out and handing them out by yourself. Is this on a job, or is this like you're taking time out to go and do it?
I had that surgery, didn't I, on Tuesday, so I don't do stuff in the house. So, like, it's been painful, admittedly, and I've been just going out, just handing leaflets out. Did a couple hundred the other day, and, like, 2 solar roof cleans come off it, 180, 200, and I was like, mint. Then, did one the other day, driveway coming off at 180, and I thought, well, I've probably put out 500 leaflets. I've got 15,500 left, and they're paid for.
Mm-hmm.
But these little holders, and I'm just going to go, hopefully this week. And I know a few local garages that mates own and friends own, big garages, and I'm just going to put them in the waiting rooms. So listen, I'll come back every 2 weeks and I'll just top them back up if that's all right. Everyone sits in waiting rooms. They just look around, don't they? And, what's that? I'm all about, I just want to be in everyone's face. I just want to be absolutely everywhere. I think you've got to be. For social media and for work. But if you are just starting off, I think leaflets, uniform, And I won't even go delivering leaflets in my trainers and tracksuit.
Yeah, not me.
Yeah, but people do. You know what I mean? I'll wear, 9 times out of 10, it's this jumper or it's me work shirt. But even bottom half of that, it's my black trousers, my muck boots. In muck boots, it's good if you go in your wellies or your muck boots because it looks like you're keen or it looks like you've just finished a job.
Yeah.
Another good trick as well, which is a bit wrong, but if you ever are delivering leaflets and you're sort of like this street, I don't know, Glenbrook way, but you know, 2 streets down, there's Cherry Tree Close. And when you knock the door, just say, listen, I've just done a job in Cherry Tree Close. I'm just handing some leaflets out on the way home.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a bit of a wrong lie. You know, but at the end of the day, if you're just knocking doors, sometimes they think a bit. I've been out with guys and they're like, oh, I'm sorry to bother you. It's like, don't apologise. Whatever you do, don't apologise. You're there to provide them with something that's amazing. That's the best thing ever. You know what I mean? Your prices are fantastic. Your service are fantastic. You're amazing. Don't apologise. As soon as you apologise to that person at the door, they're like, yeah, this guy just, he's trying to sell me something.
Yeah. So you're door knocking. Are you door knocking everyone, or are you just putting leaflets through?
The first 2,500 leaflets, if I went out leafleting, every door was knocked.
How did you find your sort of turnover rate was roughly? Was it better than posting?
I'm still getting phone calls now from leaflets I door knocked in October. I couldn't even fathom it. I'm literally going to end up going through my diary soon. I'm going to, next to my jobs, I'm going to put the source of where that jobs come from.
Yeah.
Just so in 12 months' time, I can sort of like what's working and what's not. But I can honestly say, I would go as far as saying 80% of my work is door knocking leaflets. Easy. The last 20 jobs, probably 17 of them are leaflets.
Have you got any tips for a good leaflet versus a bad? Have you seen any bad leaflets? And you like what would you advise?
I've not sent one today, and it was awful. You know what I mean? And I haven't spoken to him yet, so he might even watch this. I'm not going to say it was. First of all, is quality. So these are like 300 gram card. They need to be thick. They need to be, good quality, and it really doesn't cost that much more. And I think. Do
you get like the shiny ones, or is it just they've just got to be thick paper?
I think that is.
Yeah.
But they messed up on a print, so I got 6 days of free. They like, listen, I wasn't happy. There's like a blue line on them somewhere. You can't even see it. There's like a faint line down here. And they were like, well, we'll send you.
Mine had the whole top chopped off of it, and I forgot to get in touch with them, and it's been too long now, probably.
Then I think so. This wasn't my initial second Mark II. Mark II was going to be a door hanger. So instead of leafleting going through and just getting thrown in with, the takeaway one or the newspaper and dog chewing it was going to be a door hanger that hung on your door handle. So then they physically got to engage it before it gets removed. But I didn't realise that normal leaflets are VAT free. So you don't pay your 20% on them on your designing or your leaflets. Whereas for 10,000 of these, I think it was something like 280 quid from the local company I use. But for 10,000 door hangers, it was like £1,000.
Really?
I was like, what? And she was like, yeah. She goes, just because they're not as generic is, first of all, the prints are more expensive. She goes, but for what you've actually got, she goes, it's not much more material. She goes, but obviously we keep leaflets in that sort of normal generic size. They're taxed. They don't pay VAT or whatever it is, tax on them, whatever it is. She goes, so the prices are really low. And I was just like, I didn't realise that.
Apparently, there's some kind of law. I don't know if it's based on which area you're in, but sometimes you're not allowed to leave those door hangers.
Yeah, I don't know how it works. I think you are right. I think, like I said, I was just following off the Americans.
Yeah,
it's
a cool idea.
But like you said, the cost of them was just not fathomable for me. I thought, you know what, we're quadrupling the cost per unit. It really isn't going to be worth it. But like I went out the other day and it was a window cleaner. I used traditional window cleaner, and I was like, mate, do you find yourself, having too many jobs? He said, I'm retiring, mate. He said, literally, this is one of my last days I'm going to do. And I was like, "Do you get many inquiries?" He said, "Loads." I just give him literally. I was like, "Here, mate, have some leaflets." And he was like, "Oh, all right, yeah." He said, "No, I appreciate that, mate." He said, "I'll pass them on. It saves losing the customers." So like, cheers, mate.
Yeah.
And I gave him like 1,000 leaflets, and I thought, yeah, they're probably going to go on his log fire.
Yeah.
But yeah, I
what-
think personally, is links to social, links to your social medias, like just so people know what you've got.
Mhm.
You know, Facebook, Instagram, a little app with what you've got. That way, if they're not going, you know, and just so they can check you out a little bit, you know, I mean, have a little look. I think obviously your business logo, contact number. I wouldn't go too mad with before and after, so I've just gone a block paving before and after, then a render before and after.
Yeah.
I think that just shows people that you're not just jet washing.
Yeah.
I think if you just put jet. So my first ones were Cedars exterior cleaning, jet washing services, and it was just block pavers and decking. And I reckon I lost out on thousands and thousands of pounds worth of work on render, gutters, fascias. What else?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
You know, I reckon I lost out on so much work because I was leafleting and pricing render jobs, and 50 or 60 a day. These people are desperate for someone to do a render, and I didn't get a single phone call. And I thought it's probably because they think I'm going to jet wash it.
Yeah.
It says jet washing services.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So you have got to be careful that you don't have it too nichey, like too small.
Yeah, that's a good point. I didn't think about that.
Yeah, then like I said, like the Google 5-star rating, it's very much like the travellers do. But to be honest, I don't know a single traveller that struggles for work. That's it. Yeah, I mean, I know you've had your bad experiences. I've been in the landscape and trade. I've dealt with thousands of them.
I never mentioned the word traveller in that video, by the way.
No, but mate, yeah. I
have no idea. No idea if it was a traveller or not. I have no idea.
Well, I saw someone comment saying it possibly was where I'm getting it from. But to be honest, I've never. The guys I know, they are hardworking and they have all like these accolades, like the 5-star Google rating and like the Master Craftsman and it works. Do you know what I mean? The lads I know, they are flat out work after work after work. And the one who did my driveway, he's a lovely lad. And I actually asked him. I said, "Mate, where'd you get uniforms done? Because they look mid." And these guys have been doing jet washing and stuff for years, and like you said, some of them, even in our like normal society, it doesn't matter where you come from. If you're going to do a crap job, you're going to do a crap job. Then I think your own name. You know what I mean? Don't put us. Don't put contact me. Just put your own name.
Yeah.
And I get people ringing me, "Hi, all right, Luke," and I'm like, "You're right. I told you quite my drive." And
yeah. They already know your name.
They text me. I had a text today. And he was like, "Hi, Luke, it's such and such." And I was like, who's this? Oh, all right. And I forget I've put my name on the leaflets.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, yeah. And you do get it. And it's familiarity. You know what I mean? People like it because they feel like they already know you. And I think that's why it's good to put your face on social media and your face. Like I said, that was so hard. You'll never realise, okay, how hard that was to do. I sat here for hours, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of photos, and I was like, I can't take a photo. I can't do it. And I went through, I sent them to my mates, I sent them to, I was like, "Mate, which one's best?" And at the end I thought, you know what, it's going to be that small, who cares? But even that, I think it makes, like I said, it makes them more confident. You've put your face on a leaflet, you've put your name on a leaflet, you've put your links to your social. If you've got anything to hide and you're going to do a crap job, you ain't going to go through all that hassle of showing them who you are, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
And I think a bad leaflet is no business name, just services.
Too much text.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, I'd say too much text. QR codes. I don't. Me and the woman who designed these, the manager who designed these, she was like, "Get your QR codes on them." And I was like, "Really?" Then after I spoke to customers, and I went out and I messaged about 50 of my customers and "Listen, I have a new leaflet made up. Would you, if you had a leaflet come through the door, scan a QR code?" All 50 of them said no. And I was like, "There you go."
That's great research.
That's it. And I come back to the manager who's making them. I said, "Listen," I said, "it's no point. She was like, trust me, Luke, they work. I was like, on what basis are you saying they work? Because it's the day and age we live in, people like technology. And I was like, you can't base it off your assumption.
Yeah,
I
have you got proof?
I've asked 50 customers and they've said they won't scan it. I can't remember physically the last time I scanned a QR code in public.
Yeah, I think people are worried about getting scammed as well.
That's it. Well, yeah, that's it. You are probably very, very correct with that. But yeah, I do think leaflets are a massive, massive help. Don't overcomplicate. If you're not sticking mush on it, put your name on it.
Are you using like a CRM or anything to keep track of your customers?
Diary, old-fashioned paper diary.
Oh, really?
Yeah, literally all I do is if I get a job come off, it's a name, their address, what the job is, how much the job is, and their mobile number. And I just keep all my diaries. I think that you physically can't go wrong. If that app crashes or that system crashes or it's not backed up, you've lost potentially a whole year's worth of income. I've got a diary that stays at my desk. It's got everyone's details in, and all I'll literally do is when it comes up to the end of that diary. So when I come back to the September time, I'll just start on the September page in 2024 and ring all them customers from that week. Hello, or drop them a text. I'm trying to figure out how to do mass text messaging. It's not going well.
No, it's not easy.
I keep on sending people into group chats who are all people around me, like 9 customers in there just debating what's going on.
Yeah.
Like, who's invited us to this? I'm like, wasn't me, guys. What's going on? So yeah, I keep it old school with that sort of thing.
And so what if you haven't got that diary with you at any point, but you need to use it? That's my worry. Like I've always got my phone with me, but I worry that if I start tracking things on pen and paper, that I'm going to leave it somewhere and I'm not going to have it when I need it. Do you know what I mean?
So I used to suffer a lot with. I'm going to probably go into it now. I used to suffer a lot with OCDs when I was growing up, logging money mainly, accounting for every penny. So if I went out the house at like 15 with £4 and I'd come home with 26p, I'd account for every penny that was spent. If there was 4 pence missing, I'd have a meltdown. And it still kind of sticks with me now. And that's where I think I come down with the paper side of things. I always used to carry a piece of paper with me and a pen so I could jot down what I'd spent or what I'd taken out with me. And I think that's just coming to the business side of things. I just like to physically be able to flick through something. And like I said, your phone can go flat. You can break your phone. I lost my diary once, so I left it on the roof of the car. That was bad. I had like extra amount that's worth of landscaping booked in and didn't even know where I was tomorrow. And I said, I don't know where my diary is. Yeah. And about 4 weeks later, we found it on the side of the road. Thank God. What did
you do with all them customers?
Literally, I just put a post on Facebook. I was like, where am I tomorrow, guys? I've lost my diary. And they started like, you with me on this day, Luke? You with me on this day? I was like, thank God for that, man. So Facebook did save the day. But it's each to their own. But I think if you're not writing your customers' numbers down in your diary, you're setting yourself up to fail. You're not saving them details. Obviously, you can't save them in your phone as a contact because I can't fathom that.
It's too many, isn't it?
Yeah, and you don't know who they are. Whereas I remember pretty much every house I cleaned. I don't know if that's anyone else.
Yeah,
someone
I do.
can give me like, yeah, I think it's a bit autistic. I think you'll agree with me on that one. I could literally, like, someone says to me, "Oh, remember such as houses." Yeah, I remember. But even leaflets, someone could say to me, "Oh, I live at 24 Glenbrook Way." Oh yeah, that one with the such and such in the front garden. Yeah, that's it. And they're like a bit freaked out. They're like, "Yeah, that's it." I am very, I think you've got to take them details into consideration, though. Like you said, to remember people.
Well, I was talking to.
You're gonna fail.
I was talking to Ryan from Curbside, and he was very shocked that I didn't have any sort of CRM and that I wasn't like I have no way really of getting in touch with past customers. I've got their details in the calendar from the job that I did for them, but I've not got the data stored anywhere. It's literally just the job input in the calendar.
We're talking Curbside, like cleanables Curbside.
Yeah.
So he's got a lot of regulars, hasn't he? So he's dealing with hundreds of regular customers.
Mm.
So it does. Could he not imagine it because he's dealing with? Hasn't he got like 1,000 customers or something stupid?
Well, he also made the point of if you get quiet in the winter and you want to send out some messages and stuff, like how.
Well, I didn't give it up.
Yeah.
No. I literally did, mate. As I said, I'm trying to figure out how to do mass messaging because the other day I thought I'm gonna start window cleaning. Well, let me just message all my customers, and it landed well with a few. And do you know what I had to do? I had to copy and paste the message, go through my diary from the start, put the number in, copy paste it, send. Copy. Oh, mate,
Takes hours.
I did type all the numbers in, then checking the number to make sure the number's right. But do you know what the problem was? When they replied, I didn't know who the hell they were. So I had to go through the diary to look at the number to figure out who they were. So I didn't want to reply saying, "Who are you?"
Yeah.
Because then it looked like there's no, link between it. So I was like, literally, I had one message back, Chris. She was like, "Hi, Luke. I'll book you in 4 weekly on the window clean." And I was like, "Shit, where's her house? Who is it?" You know what I mean? So I had to go through all the diary again looking for a certain mobile number. I was like, "Oh, I know who it is." So yeah, I could see where it would come in.
Boomer just made
handy.
a good point. Boomer said paper isn't scalable, and I do agree. If you're running a business with multiple employees and stuff, you've got to have some sort of system in place, I suppose. But I mean, while it is just you, isn't it? At the minute,
it is. Yeah, it is. I've employed people in the past, and I just don't know where I want to go with this. I don't know.
Yeah, agreed. Mate, I think I'm gonna get off because I'm absolutely exhausted. I think I was ill on Saturday and it's absolutely wiped me
I'll let
out.
you off. I had surgery on Tuesday. Don't use any excuses. Right, been a pleasure.
What's your plans for the next few weeks? Are you busy?
16,000 leaflets. But no, I've got a couple of busy weeks. Busy week this week. Busy week next week. Busy as I need to be and want to be. But then it's just establishing this window cleaning now. How am I going to manage it? How am I going to, like you said, paperwork, or am I going to get an app to put everyone in? It's just another string to the company that, to be honest, it's all new, and it's just trying to figure out how am I going to do it? How am I going to remember all the houses? How am I going to remember where they all are? How am I going to remember which ones I'm doing when I'm doing them? So yeah, I've got to figure that out.
All right.
Hopefully.
Where can people find you if they want to see your videos and stuff?
Everywhere. TikTok, Facebook.
Are you on YouTube?
Instagram. I am. Just started. It just started.
Where are you on YouTube?
It should be Cedars exterior cleaning, but it looks like Cedars sex for some reason because all the legs together. But I literally, when you were talking about me earlier, and like I had 5 subscribers straight away. I was like, oh man.
Really?
Yeah, they literally, you put the video up with the Pro Phone. I'm laying in bed cringing, and my phone went ping. 5 new subscribers. I thought mid.
Oh, I didn't know that actually worked. That's cool.
Yeah, like I said, it's amazing. It's like Nathan's. Do you know Nathan's Lawn Stripes? So he's got like 18 million followers. You ever seen him in Australia?
Yeah.
So I reached out to him the other day. I was like, listen, mate, what you're doing is what I want to do. If you ever get the chance to share anything, and he shared more stuff.
That's cool.
And he got like 160, 170 new followers on Instagram. And I was like, fair play. He said, mate, just ask. And I was like, do you know what? He's right. Just ask. But yeah, that's me.
That's very cool. All right, mate.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for.
I've got 53 now. I'm flying. I'm coming for you, Jakey boy.
I'm coming for you. Thanks, mate. This has been fun. Appreciate you talking to us.
Speak to you later, guys.
Have a good one. Bye. That was nice, wasn't it? Very off the cuff, out of nowhere. Don't mind if I do. I think Cedar's been he's been due to come on the live stream for a long time, so it's good to finally have him on. I'm pretty knackered, guys, so I'm gonna shoot off. But I hope you all have a very productive week, and I hope this quiet spell for a lot of you starts to pick up a little bit. There's so much you can be doing to get yourself out there. If you're not doing something already, if you're not doing leaflets, start doing leaflets. If you're not knocking on doors, start doing that. If you're not posting on social media, start doing that. If you haven't got a decent website, get that set up. If you haven't done work for friends and family yet, start doing that. Just start. Just start doing stuff. If what you're doing isn't working, try something else. Be consistent. Fully commit. Ta-ta. Thanks, everyone.